Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am very excited about today's video where we will be finding out details about your soulmate. And these details will include information about their past, maybe their home life, their childhood, some information about some things that they've been through. We're going to look at their personality, some of their hobbies and likes and dislikes, and hopefully get some additional information about maybe their appearance or their current situation or their financial situation. It'll depend on what the cards show us. So I'm very excited, and I have created also some additional like paper messages. So I'm excited. This was a fun video. I've already got to do some arts and crafts, so I'm looking forward to it. And I want to apologize for the lack of decoration. My cat destroyed most of my autumn decor, and I haven't been back to the dollar store. But I also think that I probably need the space because we're going to be pulling a lot of cards today. So anywho, with that said, feel free to pause the video and pick a pile. We have each pile is associated with a different treat. We have a donut, some candies, ice cream, and then a cupcake. So you can pause the video, pick whichever pile speaks to you. And with that said, let's get into today's reading. Hello Pile 1 and welcome to your reading. I am very excited about today's reading. I love doing soulmate readings. I love watching soulmate readings. So I'm very happy to have you here today. And I want to say with your cards Pile 1, there's a couple of things I'm seeing right off the bat. So this is going to be the first part of your reading, and with these cards we're talking about your soulmate's past. So this would include like past relationships or significant events in their life, maybe their past energies, and just to get kind of a sense of how this person's experiences have shaped them into the person that they are today. So I wanted to say, like, I felt compelled to arrange the cards this way specifically because I feel like we have the two cards on the left and the two cards on the right all have lines on them, which is, that's not every card in this deck. A lot of the cards in this deck are very different designs, and they have like bright colors or dark colors, or there's only a few cards that have these kind of parallel or straight lines on them, and so I felt compelled to kind of arrange these cards like this, with the strength card being down at the bottom. So I think that we have two kind of separate experiences or areas of this person's life that are being represented by, on one side we have the Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles, which is related to this balance card here. And then we have on the other side the Son of Swords and the Mother of Swords, so that's the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords, and that's related to this isolation card. And then I would say we've had the Archetype card in the middle is the Shadow attribute of the Knight, which I thought was very interesting. We have two Knight cards, and then this Knight card came out of the Archetype deck as a shadow energy, and that's being connected to this Strength card. And so what I'm getting is this shadow attribute of the Knight, I think, applies to both of the experiences that we're talking about with this soulmate. And then I think the Strength card represents where they are now, like how they've taken what has happened in their past and not like how they've kind of transformed it into a place where they're able to embody the meaning of the Strength card and to really find their strength and step into their strength as a person. And so I'm going to start on the left with the Son of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. So right off the bat, when I pulled the Son of Cups, that was the first card that I pulled, and I was getting the impression that this person has had unfortunate experiences when it comes to romantic relationships. I think that they probably gave their heart to the wrong person in the past, and that might have been a pattern, or it could just have been like one significant relationship. Because I also want to point out that the shadow attribute on the Knight Archetype card says allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle and romantic delusions. So I think both probably apply to this person's past experiences. However, I think on the left here, we're talking about a romantic relationship. I think they might have given their heart to the wrong person, and were probably pretty ride or die for this person, and they got their heart broken. That's what I would say probably happened here, because the Seven of Pentacles talks about needing, it talks about many things, but it talks about needing to reevaluate our priorities and take a hard look at where we're investing our energy and our resources, because where we're currently focused may not be paying off, and we might be losing faith that that what we're investing in is gonna pay off for us. And so with these two cards together, that's what I'm seeing is this person had to have kind of like a come to Jesus moment with themselves when they realized they were investing their time and energy in the wrong person. Or maybe if this Knight of Cups is talking about, maybe they were investing too much energy in chasing after romance, and that could have been like with multiple people. It could have been like some sort of like unhealthy pattern, romantic pattern. And I think they realized what was happening, that they weren't going to be able to find a soulmate or even just a fulfilling romantic connection if they kept approaching it this way. And the message of the Seven of Pentacles is being echoed here in this balance card. And this balance card is associated with the third eye chakra. And I would take that as a way for spirit to say that this person kind of might have had like an intuitive moment of divine intervention where maybe a spirit guide stepped in or their higher self stepped in and said like, stop, we got to take a look at what we're doing here because it's not working. Because this balance card can specifically talk about being willing to chase a dream that turns out to be an illusion, or being willing to throw away something valuable in order to chase something that we want more, and then realizing after the fact that we made the wrong decision. And so I think that's probably a good description of what has happened in this person's romantic past. Either they got their heart broken in a significant romantic relationship. It turned out that maybe they were investing more than the other person, or it just wasn't the right person for them. And I think they've been maybe a little bit disillusioned by that. Or maybe they were chasing many romantic connections, being a bit of like a hopeless romantic, and maybe they realized that being in that kind of energy wasn't working for them. It wasn't going to attract the kind of relationship that they truly want to have. And I also want to say, when the Seven of Pentacles came out, initially my gut was telling me this person, I think they had something happen with this Knight of Cups, this past relationship, and then so now they're turning to focus on their career or their finances. So that could be an additional message here. And this balance card could be saying, this person might, especially with the Strength card here, this person might now be in a place where they have a strong sense of their own value, and they might be not willing to settle for less than what they want or deserve, because we have the scales on this card. So it's talking about things being fair and balanced and like an equal partnership. So it could be through this person's past experiences, what they've discovered is that they're looking for a relationship where they can have an equal partnership, which was not something they had experienced previously. And then I want to talk about the Son of Swords, Mother of Swords situation. Initially, when these cards came out, they came out together like this. And I was thinking to myself, does this person work with their mother? Maybe they have a good, positive relationship with their mother. And as soon as I had that thought, I had like a gut reaction that was like, no, that's not what's happening here. So I think maybe this person has maybe a tumultuous relationship with their mother. They might have grown up with somebody who was very unemotional, maybe not nurturing, their mother or mother figure might just be a very kind of cold, calculating person. And that might be why we have this isolation card here. It could be that they were in this kind of imbalanced Knight of Cups energy because they might not have had positive or warm, loving, nurturing types of relationships modeled to them when they were growing up. They might not have been familiar with what is an equal partnership. And so that might have led them to be willing to give their heart to the wrong people. And then I also want to say, before I forget, we do have a lot of air energy. We have all the elements here. We have water with the cups and earth with the pentacles, and then Fire with the Strength card, and particularly Leo. So this person could be a Leo or have Leo in their chart. And then we have 2 Swords cards, which are the element of air. And then we also have isolation associated with the throat chakra, which is also associated with air, associated with communication. So I would say, with both these cards being here, this person probably is a very good communicator. I think they might have had to learn how to be. They might have learned that from their mother. And it could be that, as I said, they might have grown up in a family situation where they had to learn how to be really assertive with the words and be really clear in order to fit in with their family or get along with their family or even just survive their family situation. And this could have been like a very kind of isolating environment for this person. And this isolation card also, there's a message with this card, there's a tuxedo on it, and there's a message about buying a tuxedo and then never wearing it. So it's like an idea of maybe not understanding the difference between solitude and isolation. It could be that this person might have a little bit, they're very good at communicating, but they might have a little bit of social anxiety, or they might just be very reserved, or like guarded. It could be that they're very outgoing with the Strength card here. Maybe they have a lot of like Leo traits, like they might make friends easily, or they might have like a lot of friends, but it could be that they really guard their heart very tightly, and they're more like emotionally isolated in terms of their deeper feelings. It could be that they're very afraid of making themselves vulnerable because of what happened with their past romantic relationships, and they might just have a little bit like of a fear of intimacy that has been caused by their past relationships and maybe their family situation. And I do feel compelled to mention that the kind of like son and mother situation here. However, this could also be talking about this person like leveling up from a knight to a queen. You know, like the Knight of Swords has a different energy from the Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is a little bit more reckless. You know, he kind of comes rushing in with like a very focused energy. I was getting a very focused kind of feeling. This person is probably pretty focused when they're on whatever they're working on, maybe very focused on their career, and could be like a real go-getter, maybe like a very ambitious person. And maybe like over time they might have kind of mellowed out a little bit into more of a Queen of Swords energy, and especially with the Strength card here, maybe more of like a self-assured energy of like, I don't have to rush anywhere because I know that I'm already where I'm supposed to be, and I'm gonna get where I'm going. I don't have to be worried about that, so I don't need to be running here and there anymore. I can kind of settle down on my throne because I am the Queen of Swords. And this card, I mean, it also does talk about, and it's being echoed here in the isolation card, somebody who is very independent and might be a little bit detached from their own emotions. So I would say this, you know, it could be that this applies both to your soulmate and to their mother or mother figure or parental figure in their life, or maybe just somebody in a position of authority who had a lot of influence on them. It could be that they maybe unintentionally or unconsciously have taken after this person because that might have been what was modeled to them growing up. You know, they might have been raised in a family where it wasn't okay to talk about your feelings. You could talk about anything else. You know, I see this as being like a very intellectual energy, very sharp, very perceptive, very like someone with very good judgment, able to kind of weigh both sides, see things very clearly. However, when it comes to deeper emotions, I would say this person might struggle with that. And I know I talked about like the air energy here. I also forgot to mention there are a set of scales on the balance card. So that could be an indication that this person is a Libra, or, you know, has Libra in their chart, in addition to the Leo on the Strength card, and then just the general air energy of the Swords suit. And then, you know, and then as I said, we have some cups and some pentacles too. So take that however it resonates. And with that said, I would like to move forward into the second part of your reading, where we will take a look at your soulmate's personality. Okay, pile one. So before we get into the next part of the reading, I did want to mention a couple of things. Okay, so when I was shuffling your cards for this part of the reading, I was smelling and having a craving for corn chips, which I actually really love corn chips, so, that doesn't really surprise me. And then a phrase popped into my head. It was from that meme that says, I'd sell you to Satan for one corn chip. And I wanted to mention that because that might be your soulmate might be someone who loves corn chips. Maybe you're eating corn chips as you're listening to this. Or that could just be an example of this person's sense of humor. Like that might be the kind of thing that they find funny. So just wanted to throw that out there. And then I also wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk more about the Strength card in the previous part of the reading, because I think that's connected to this person's, your soulmate's current energy. And I see that also reflected here because we do have the Queen of Wands, which I think is probably pretty tied to the Strength card. And then I think there's also a connection with the Mother archetype up at the top, because the Strength card can talk about somebody who is so assured of their own strength and power that they don't feel the need to prove it to anybody. And so they're in a very kind of gentle, nurturing, generous, loving energy because they don't feel the need to throw their weight around. They're like, I know I'm a lion. I don't need to prove to you that I'm, the quote unquote king of the jungle. We all know that that's true. And so instead, I'm going to kind of quietly embody my strength and use my gifts to help other people and to be very kind and generous with other people. And then there's another message with the Strength card about being a very good manifestor, being able to use having a positive attitude and a positive energy to manifest the things that we want to attract, the things that we want into our life. And I'm seeing that being reflected in this Queen of Wands and in the Abundance card here. So I just wanted to throw that in because I had forgotten to talk more about the Strength card. And then I also want to say the Strength card in that deck, specifically, the lion has a rose in its mouth. And so even though I think this person has struggled and might still be struggling a bit with a fear of vulnerability, and maybe, there might be a bit of a wall up when you meet them, depending on how much work this person has put in. I would say with the Strength card, I'm seeing that I don't know that that's necessarily true about them, because I'm also seeing in these cards that this person is very good at learning from past experiences and using those experiences to change and grow. Because I think that, as when we're talking about the Son of Swords, Mother of Swords in their past, and then we have the Mother card here, and that's talking about them. That's part of their personality, is somebody who is a loving and nurturing caretaker kind of energy. And that might have been that might not have been what they had. That might not have been the relationship they had with their own mother. They might have had to learn how to reparent themselves and to say to themselves, I don't want anybody else to feel that way. I don't want to be that way with my own children if I have children. I've learned what I don't want. And so they've used that to kind of grow and evolve. And so I would say, as I was talking about the rose in the lion's mouth, it could be that this person has just learned how to be very discerning in terms of who they choose to pursue in romantic relationships. But it could be that they've healed a lot of those old wounds, and are in a place, especially when they meet you, when they're gonna be ready to be in a romantic relationship with somebody who is on their level, somebody in a balanced relationship. Lots of themes of balance here in this person's reading. I think that they really believe in having a fair and equal partnership. That's something that's probably very important to this person. So I just wanted to address that because I forgot to talk about it in the last part. So with that said, let's get into this part. So this part is about this person's personality. And as I said, I am seeing some echoes from the last part of the reading in terms of what might have contributed to their current personality or how they view the world. And I'm going to start up top with the archetype cards. And so I talked about the Mother card. And, regardless of this person's gender, I think that this card is just talking about them being in that kind of Leo energy. And they, as I said, they might be a Leo, they might be a fire sign. I'm seeing a lot of air here, I have to be honest. However, it could be that's just an aspect of their personality that has developed based on their past experiences. And if they're a parent already, they are a very nurturing parent. If they want to have kids, if you want to have kids, if that's something that's in the future for the two of you, they will be a very good parent, very loving, and just a great caretaker. And then we have the Alchemist card. And I think this card is referring to this person's, as I said, I'm seeing that this person has a fantastic ability to learn and grow from their experiences. And this card says transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. And so I think they're able to like find meaning in the things that happen in their life, and to use their experiences, even the negative ones, to like extract a life lesson from it that they can use to grow and move forward. And I'm seeing that reflected in the Page of Swords and the Six of Swords down in the tarot cards too, because I will talk about this, but the Page of Swords has a message about learning from the past, and the Six of Swords is a message about moving forward into a new cycle. And I think that's something that this person is very, very good at. And I want to say, with all of the cards here, this person, I am getting a very focused, very highly intelligent person who has like a very, I guess, like a flexible mind. Like I think they're very adaptable. They're very good, as I said, learning from their experiences and like applying that knowledge in order to move forward. And I think that they're probably an excellent problem solver. You know, whatever issues this person has, I think they're very good at negotiating them, like negotiating their way through whatever comes up in their life, which I'm also seeing in this impasse card, which I'll talk about. So I know I wanted to go through card by card, and I tend to just jump all over the place, but it's because I am seeing like confirmations everywhere with all of these cards. So, and then we have the Saboteur card, which I think is referring to those situations in the past that we talked about with the knight that was in the shadow attribute in their past. I think that they have committed to the wrong things in the past, and so I think that they might just be like a little bit hyper vigilant about the intentions of other people. They might have some trust issues. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I think they've worked really hard on getting past that. However, I think that they might just be like just very aware of other people, and they might struggle to I don't think they have any problem making friends with the Strength card or the Queen of Wands card. However, they might struggle to kind of let people in really deep, just because they might just be constantly worried that, is this going to happen again? Am I going to have the same bad experience again? That might just be something that they struggle with, especially with this Eight of Swords card down at the bottom. That might be something like one of their deep fears might be feeling trapped or stuck in a situation that turns out to be like bad for them or unhealthy. And so I think that they're just like hyper aware of that. And it could be that with the Workaholic card, this could be like a reflection of the Seven of Pentacles card in the first part of the reading. And this person might have thrown themselves into work, and that might be like an escape mechanism. Like that might just be like a form of escapism that they use, is when they don't want, or they're dealing with like a painful emotion or an uncomfortable emotion that they don't want to have to work through it. They might throw themselves into work. It could also just be saying they're a very hard worker. And with this card, this could also be a message that maybe they were a workaholic. Maybe that was something like part of their past, because that was associated with their past. And that might have been something they've been able to find a balance, because this card talks about, it's a blueberry who's painting, and then an elder blueberry comes up and says, like, you can't spend all your time painting, you need to have fun too. And then the blueberry goes out and has fun and realizes there's other fulfilling parts to life. So that could have been one of their major life lessons that they've had to learn. Maybe they threw themselves into work after whatever heartbreak they experienced. And then we had the balance card underneath that, and that might have been they had to learn work-life balance. And so it could be saying like work might still be something that they're very passionate about and that they spend a lot of time doing. However, they might have worked through and learned how to manage their time so that they also have time to do the fun things that they want to do. And then we have the abundance card. And this card, I think, might just be a direct indication that this person, especially in conjunction with a workaholic card, this person might have earned a lot of money. They might have a high-paying job. They might be very financially secure, financially abundant. And that's, I'm seeing with the message of the abundance card, is probably something that they created for themselves. I don't know that this person came from money. They might have. There might be a bit of like a legacy with the Son of Swords, Mother of Swords duality at the last part of the reading. However, this abundance card talks about a man who dropped a coin down like a sewer grate and then cried about it, and then a little girl came by and fished the coin out of the sewer grate, and so it's about being innovative and finding ways to create abundance that other people might not see, or where other people might give up on something. This person's like, no, I can figure out a way to turn this into something that is producing abundance. And part of the reason that, that I think that this is such an important part of this person's personality is because we also have the Alchemist card. We also have adjustments are required. So I think this person is very good at making adjustments where they need to. They're very good at kind of turning on a dime, pivoting, working around things. And then there's a specific message with the Impasse card that an impasse is not an ending. It's not the end of the road. It's just something like a temporary blockage that is encouraging us to find another way. And so I think anytime in this person's life when they experience an obstacle or they might feel like they're trapped, they have the ability to transmute that and to find a way around it and to figure out how to solve the problem and create abundance for themselves. Create a learning opportunity for themselves. And I'm also seeing this reflected in the full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. What I'm getting from that is this person's very good at finding the answers. I think when something happens, is they're not sitting there asking questions, they're going and finding the answer. And so that's why, as I was saying, this person has a very sharp mind. I think they were very highly intelligent, and they're like a creative problem solver. And that might also be related to the kind of work that they do. That might be very important to their job. So I'm going to move into the tarot cards. So we do have the Queen of Wands, which I said I thought was probably related to the kind of leonine energy I was getting from the Strength card. The Queen of Wands is somebody who is, first of all, very charismatic, friendly, outgoing, fun-loving, social. This person might have a very active social life. And she's also very good at manifesting. And we're seeing that repeated in the Abundance card. This person knows how to create things for themselves and create opportunities for themselves. And is somebody who's probably pretty self-assured. And so even if this person is still struggling with something like emotional vulnerability or maybe a little bit of like a fear of intimacy, I would see them also being somebody who is very confident or at least portrays themselves that way. Like I would say that this person might be like the kind of the life of the party type. However, they have a very keen mind, a very sharp intellect. They're great at clearly communicating the things that they want to communicate. And they might be very good at portraying themselves a certain way while not showing the full picture. And that won't apply, that might not apply to every situation, or that could be something that they've already healed, or it could be just another aspect of their personality. And something that just popped into my head as I was looking at this Queen of Wands is this person's also probably the mom friend with the mother card up top, taking care of everybody else, making sure everybody has everything that they need. Probably the person who loves making the plans and kind of being in charge of that. And regardless, this person's going to make sure everybody is taken care of, which I think is also related to the Justice card. This person wants to get justice for everybody. And then we have the Page of Swords, which I was saying, I was feeling that in the sense of somebody who's very good at learning from their experiences. And I would say there's also a message here, just repeating, this person is probably highly intelligent and they're probably a very skilled communicator. And I think they're very good at transmuting their experiences and learning from them and moving forward, because we see the person on this card is using their ideas, like the light bulbs that are like light bulb balloons, to carry them across like a narrow bridge. I think this person relies on their intellect and communication skills to get them through life and to keep them moving forward, because we have the Six of Swords, which is a card about transformation, about moving from one phase of our life until the next phase of our life. And I think that might have been something that this person has had to learn how to do, how to keep moving forward, alchemize things, create their own abundance, find balance in their life, find a way around the impasses and obstacles in their life, find their own answers to things. Maybe they needed to reparent themselves. They've had to learn how to adjust to situations that maybe they couldn't control. And that could also be talking about the Eight of Swords card, which is carrying a message about somebody who is like paralyzed by fear. However, there's a message when this card comes out that the fears in our head, like the things that we're afraid of happening, have not actually happened yet. And so those things they're not real yet. And there might be an emphasis on the way to get out of this cage in our minds is by embracing and stepping into the power that we have in a situation. And I think this is something this person has had to learn how to do. You know, they've had to learn how to embody their strength and become the Queen of Wands. And I think that is what has helped them learn from their experiences. And then we have the Justice card, which is, is related to the Balance card in the previous part of the reading. And I also want to say lots of air energy here. We have another 3 Swords cards, and then the Justice, which has the scales of the Libra sign, and then we have the full moon in Gemini, which is Gemini is an air sign. So this person could be an air sign, could just have a lot of air in their chart, could just have a very airy personality. And with the Justice card here, I think that this person probably really values fairness and honesty. I think that they have a real keen eye for discovering the truth of a situation. I think they've had to maybe develop that skill by looking for the saboteurs in their life. And I think that they have probably really good judgment. And I think that, with this Justice card here, I think this is also saying they might have worked through their workaholic tendencies, because I would see this person as having a balanced personality. I think they work hard, and they also want to have a really healthy and fulfilling home life with the Mother card. And I think that they're not concerned about money with the Abundance card. So maybe they spend a lot, they invest in life's pleasures. And either way, I think this person has worked really hard in order to get justice for themselves in terms of the things that have happened in their past. They've worked hard to make sure that the scales of their life are balanced, if that makes sense. And I think they'd be interested in having like a very equal partnership. I think that's something that's probably very important to this person. I also wanted to throw out there that this person might work in the justice system. They might be a lawyer or a judge or work in law enforcement. I think they might have a job or maybe even a hobby where they're responsible or interested in making sure that people get the justice that they deserve. So that's what I'm seeing with this person's personality in this part of the reading. And then there is going to be another part of the reading where we're just going to get some more additional info. And that's going to be info about their personality and about their situation, maybe their financial situation. And then we're going to get some information about hobbies, maybe their appearance, and a bunch of other stuff. So stay tuned. There is more coming. Okay, pile 1, here we are with the next part of your reading. And I do want to say I love the energy of these cards. I'm in admiration of your soulmate. Like they've done so much work, and they seem like they've really transformed a painful past. They've like stepped into their strength, and they haven't like let it turn their heart cold. And I did kind of mention some of that in the earlier parts of the reading, but I'm seeing from this card, this person has managed to transcend that and get to a place where they are approaching people in relationships with genuine love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness. And it's beautiful, the way that they've managed to embrace who they are. And so I'm going to talk about what I mean. So this is just, I just wanted this to just be some additional info, but it's like, this is really echoing for me the messages we've already gotten, and just giving some additional context. And I did want to mention, I forgot, in the second part of the reading, a lot of the cards had dark hair. Like, I think every figure that we saw on each of the cards had dark hair. And there was also a lot of long hair. And then on the Gemini card, both of the Gemini figures have long, beautiful hair. So it could be this person has dark hair, or they have really beautiful hair, and they probably take pretty good care of their hair. And especially with all this Leo energy, that might be a point of pride for them. So that could just be an additional clue. And then we also have the Aquarius card. It's very nice, long, beautiful hair. So just throwing that out there. So I am going to start up top here with the new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. So this is just another sign that this person might be a Leo. They might be a fire sign. They might have a lot of like Leo placements, or they could just be standing in their strength. And I know I was mentioning previously about how this person seems to really embody their confidence. It seems like they have a pretty confident energy. They're probably very good with other people. And I think that has allowed them to create their abundance. And it says confidence is your key to success. So I think this person's ability to be confident and to connect with other people in a genuine way has really helped them become successful. And then we have the other Moonology card is the full moon in Aquarius, which says, show the world the real you. And so with this card, I'm getting the sense that, first of all, this person has probably healed, or like mostly healed, done a lot of work on the part of them that might have been like afraid of vulnerability. I'm getting the sense with these cards that have come out in like this part of the reading, this person's not really afraid of vulnerability, because I think they have genuinely embraced who they are as a person, and they're not afraid to show that. So I don't think their confidence is a mask or like a coping mechanism. I think it's genuine. Like, I think they genuinely have a lot of self-love and self-compassion and self-forgiveness here with the forgiveness card. And I'd say this could also be something that this person might find attractive in other people. Could be that is with all the emphasis on justice and balance and equality, could be that this person is looking for somebody who's also very genuine. And that could be something that attracts them to you. You know, if you're being very genuine with this person, that's probably something that they're really going to value and appreciate. Because with the Seven of Swords here, I think this person's probably been through a lot of circumstances where people were not being honest or genuine. So I would say like this, probably one of this person's core values is authenticity. And then I want to move on to the Virgin card here, which when it came out, I was like, what does this mean? But I think that it doesn't necessarily mean this person is literally a virgin. It could mean that, you know, I don't know. It seems like this person has been through a lot, and you know, with the Knight of Cups I was seeing at the beginning of the reading, has had some relationship experience. However, I can't say one way or the other whether they're a literal virgin, but I think this card is specifically talking about having like a pureness of heart and spirit. And so I think that when this card is coming out here in the context of this reading, I think this is a message that this person is very trustworthy. I think that they approach situations from a place of authenticity. And again, with these three cards on top, I'm getting the message, even though I had a sense that maybe this person had struggled in the past with being vulnerable, I think that might be something this person has healed. Because it seems like they really they get out there and they wear their heart on their sleeve. And that could be related to the reason why we have the recovery card here. And I laid the cards out like this because it was easy to see everything on camera. But I want to talk about the recovery card, the forgiveness card, and the complacency card. So we have the recovery card. And, you know, obviously what popped into my head when this card came out is this person might be in recovery. This could be somebody who had struggled with substance abuse, or maybe somebody in their family did, maybe specifically their mother, since we've had a lot of messages about a maternal type energy here. Could be their mother struggled with substance abuse, and whatever it was, they've had to put real work into recovering from that. And even if it's not specifically about substance abuse. It could be recovery from something else. It could be recovering from some type of mental illness, or maybe a process addiction, such as maybe like a sex addiction or a romance addiction or workaholism that we saw in the last part of the reading. Maybe there was something there that wasn't balanced, and they're in recovery. They've recovered their balance from it, and now they're in a place where they are very balanced. And it could also be saying, like, as I said, like, even if they don't, like, it's not about like a literal recovery, like from an addiction or a mental illness, or maybe even a physical illness. Even if it's not like literal recovery, this card could just be talking about having the courage to overcome our fear and our pain and our past experiences, the things that have been done to us. It's like working through, putting the work in to working through our past pain and trauma and fear to get to a balanced place. And I can see that this person has put that work in, that's probably another one of their priorities in life. And maybe one of their core values is working through stuff. Like, I think with this soulmate, I don't think you're ever going to have to worry about whether this person is being honest with you. I think they're always going to want to sit down and have a conversation if something is bothering them. Like, I don't think you're ever going to have to guess where you stand with this person. They're just coming forward with a very honest and genuine energy that I think is amazing. And especially because with the forgiveness card, like, this person might have had a lot of stuff happen to them. And we have, like, down in the tarot cards, the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. And that, with the a Saboteur card and the Isolation card, this person might have had a lot of stuff that they needed to heal. And that they could have had people in their life who treated them wrong, maybe because of substance abuse or addiction. And I think they've worked really hard on forgiving the people that have treated them poorly and forgiving themselves. And that's like amazing. A lot of people in this world really, really struggle with forgiveness. And to have this come up as part of this person's, like, their core self is telling me this is somebody who's truly embodying the Queen of Cups, the Mother energy, the Strength card, the Queen of Wands. And there's a child on this card, and it's drawing me back to what I said about maybe this person needing to reparent themselves. They're kind of holding their own inner child and showing up again as the Virgin with a pure heart, a clean slate. And then I want to address the complacency card, which, the first thing that popped in my head when I saw this card is this person might have a fear of complacency, which makes sense in addition to the Pioneer card here. I think this person is an innovator. I was talking about them being like a creative problem solver and like finding unique solutions to problems. That might be part of their job. I think this person is always transforming. They're always growing and learning. And they're really interested in making sure that they never get stuck in the 8 of Swords again, where they feel trapped like that. I think they if this is coming up as a fear for this person, I don't think necessarily that they're always rushing from thing to thing anymore. I think that might have been something that had to do with their past. When we saw the Knight of Swords in their past, they're in more of a Page of Swords energy. This Page of Swords, I will talk about the tarot cards. This Page of Swords came out twice. It came out in the last part and came out again. And the Page is a more passive energy than the Knight. I think that the Knight, if we're comparing the two, when this person in their past was in an imbalanced energy, they might have been acting on their fear of complacency by being in that Knight of Swords energy, like rushing around, or not really maybe giving themselves the time to really process what was happening. With the Page of Swords, it might seem like a step down or like a de-evolution. I don't know that word. However, for this person, I think it's an upgrade. I think because this person has been through a lot and they came out the other side with like a beginner's mind, willing to learn. And they might still have a residual fear of complacency, but I don't think they're letting it control them anymore. And so now I'm going to talk about the other archetype cards. So we have Judge, which again, when this card came out, I was like, are you kidding me? We have so much Swords energy. we had the balance card in the first part of the reading. We had justice come out in the second part of the reading. And then we have judge with the scales here again. This person could very well be a Libra or just have a lot of Libra in their chart. Could very well be an air sign. Especially we also have Aquarius here. And we had Gemini in the last part. That could be. And there's Aquarius. The star also has an Aquarius connection. So just saying, this person definitely coming in with an air sign kind of energy. So the Judge card does say balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. And so I would see this as a balance between this person's Leo side, like the power and strength and confidence and manifestation ability, and their social outgoing side, with their more intellectual side. And maybe even their creative side. Maybe they have a creative side that's maybe a more authentic part of themselves. And I feel compelled to mention, even if this person doesn't work in the justice system, that might be something they strongly believe in. It could be one of their core values is justice, fairness, equality, balance. And I think this person is in a very balanced energy. And with the message of balance, yes, it's connected to Libra. It could also be connected to Gemini, because we have two sides, right? With the Gemini, it's like a duality with the twins. And so it could be that if this person is a Gemini, that those two sides of themselves are in harmony. They're balanced. And then we have the Pioneer. And so this card for me is related to this person's ability to transform and transmute things. And this is telling me this person might be a trailblazer in some way. Maybe they created their career. Maybe it's not like a typical job that, maybe it's not like your typical lawyer. Maybe they're in a very niche area. Maybe as I was talking about their creative side, maybe they've found a way to incorporate their creative side into whatever their career is. Or it could be saying, if this person's so concerned with justice, maybe they work in a nonprofit where they're a pioneer in the field in some way. And it could also be talking about if this person had a home life where there was substance abuse, or just maybe a very kind of cold, isolated family. Maybe there was a lot of generational trauma. I think this person has managed to break the cycle there. And I think, it's related to their own recovery, whatever that means in this context for this person. I think their ability to recover and forgive and avoid complacency has broken a cycle in some way. They're pioneering a new way of being. And so I am going to move into the tarot. So I did also mention how we have so much air energy here with these cards, and that the Page of Swords came up twice. And so at the very least, this person's probably an excellent communicator. Very, very intelligent. And again, as I said, I don't think you're ever going to have to worry about not knowing where you stand with this person. I think they are always going to be very honest with you. And so we have the Star, which this card is associated with Aquarius. And it also talks about hope, healing, and inspiration. And the key word for me is hope. And it's also related to faith, having faith that things are going to work out and that we're being divinely guided and divinely protected. And I want to say, if this person is in recovery, if they're sober, clean or sober, and they've worked a program of recovery, it could be that they believe in a higher power and that that's part of their recovery program. And that could be something that's very important to them. They could be spiritual in some way. And either way, it seems like they've managed to take a situation or a past experience in their life and create hope for themselves and their future. I think they are very hopeful about their future. And as I said with the Strength card, the lion with the rose in their mouth, I think they are ready to have a really strong equal partnership, because this person has not had it easy. We have the Five of Swords here, which this card is talking about victory at a cost. How much are we willing to sacrifice for things that we want, and is it worth it? And this card for me is related to what we saw in the first part of the reading. I think this person has in the past invested their time and energy in the wrong things, whether that was a romantic relationship that didn't work out, whether it was pursuing sex or romance in a way that was not ultimately fulfilling, or if it was throwing themselves into their work and that not paying off for them, or if it was related to their home and family environment in terms of the Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords. This might be related to how they grew up, because this card also brings a message about conflict. They could have grown up in a very cutthroat environment where they might have felt very emotionally abandoned. And I'm seeing that message emphasized by the Seven of Swords here. I think that the reason the Saboteur card showed up in the last part of the reading is because they've had saboteurs in their life. They've had people who have deceived them before. And whether that was a romantic relationship and or like a family relationship, whatever it was, I think it really, really hurt this person. It created real trauma for this person, and they've worked really hard to heal from it. And I think they have, because as we said, they've managed to be this Page of Swords and the Queen of Cups. I think if there's a duality here, a balance here, it might be between these two energies for this person, being in a beginner's mindset, learning from their experiences, reaching out to other people for help, communicating honestly and genuinely with other people, and being kind, compassionate, caring, nurturing, the mom friend, and reparenting themselves. You know, the Queen of Cups, the figure on this card appears to be pregnant, and this card can talk about motherhood and pregnancy, which we saw in the Mother card in the last. Like, I think this person, your soulmate, has really, really taken a situation where they were not cared for or cared about the way that they deserve to be, and grown into a person who gives themselves unconditional love and support that they did not receive when they needed it. And I think they're in a place where they're able to also give that to somebody else in a relationship in an authentic, balanced, equal way. And that's really beautiful. Like, I feel so proud. I feel so proud of your soulmate. They've worked so hard to be in this amazing place where they're at right now. And I'd love to meet this person. And so with that said, I am going to move on into the last part of your reading today. And this is going to be the fun part because you're going to see me throw things on top of your cards here. And then I'll organize everything nicely on camera. So I knocked my ring light over, but that's okay. So I'm going to roll your dice. Okay, pile one, I put my ring light back up. And here we have the things that I pulled. So I know it's hard to see the dice up top. I rolled a 7, a 10, and a 12. And so those could be important numbers for your connection. It could be you might meet this person in July, October, or December, or the 7th, 10th, or 12th of the month, although it's only 12-sided dice. So, you know, it's kind of hard to tell with that. Or it could be that either you or this person is a Libra, not surprised, or a Capricorn or a Pisces. And then we also have love's children, which makes sense to me. We had the mother, a lot of mother and maternal imagery in your cards. And then we have Scorpio and Aquarius. So this person could be a Scorpio or an Aquarius. We did see a lot of Aquarius in your reading. And then Earth. So this person could be an Earth sign. They could have a lot of Earth in their chart, or they could be really down to earth or really love the outdoors. And then we have spiritual. So it could be that this person is spiritual. I was seeing that with the Star card and with the connection to recovery. I know a lot of people in recovery work a spiritual program, myself included. And then we have makeup. So if this person wears makeup, it could be something that they're very interested in, and they're probably very skilled with it. Or if this person is capable of growing facial hair, they might have facial hair or a beard. So just, of course, only pick whichever applies to your situation. This person might have short hair, and that, of course, can apply to any gender. It seems like they have a large family, so it could be that whatever family issues they might have had in their past It could have been a very large family where they kind of had to learn how to use words to defend themselves, or it could be where they get like their really good communication skills or really good social skills from being in a large family, but it might not have been a very kind of loving, warm, nurturing environment. Or this could be saying that they want to have a large family because this person does love children. And there was a lot of, as I said, a lot of maternal energy there. And it could also just be talking about this person has a large soul family. So there could be a lot of people in this person's life who they feel very close to, which again, I was getting the sense this person probably does have a pretty active social life. They seem probably might have a large social group that they feel very close to. And then we also have the great sense of humor, which makes sense to me. I also, there was all that Leo energy, not that air signs can't have a great sense of humor too. I think that it makes sense this person would have developed their social skills and be very good with people. And so that has been your soulmate reading for today. I am going to put out a soulmate reading. The next video is also going to be a soulmate reading. It's going to be focused on your relationship. So this one was focused on who they are and a little bit about their past. And the next one's going to be about your relationship with this person. So if you'd like to see that video, you can make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. You can also feel free to give this video a like if you liked it, and leave a comment. Let me know how it resonated for you and what you thought of it, because I always welcome feedback. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching Pile 1. Hello Pile 1, and welcome to your reading. I am very excited about today's reading. We're going to find out all about your soulmate. And the first part of the reading today is going to be taking a look at this person's past. So this is like significant events or past experiences in their life that have helped to kind of shape them into the person that they are today. So I wanted to say right off the bat, we do have 3 Swords cards and 2 Cups cards, so that could be an indication that this person is an air sign or a water sign. And I want to kind of explain how I've organized this. So that we have the first 2 cards on the left, which is the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Cups. And then we have the next 2 cards on the right, which are the Ace of Swords and the 3 of Swords. And then we have this Ace of Cups at the bottom. And then I have the 3 Oracle cards to kind of give us a little bit more context. And I did pull these cards out in order. So the first 2 came out, and then the next 2, and then the Ace of Cups was the last card to come out. And I wanted to point out that as soon as I saw that we had the 2 aces here, I got the impression, like the phrase that kind of popped into my head was, this person has had to reinvent themselves multiple times. And I could understand why, because we're starting off on the right here with the 7 of Swords, which can talk about deception, people being deceptive or acting in bad faith, and that's here in partnership with this 3 of Cups card. And the 3 of Cups card can talk about friendships or like a friends group, celebrating good times with friends. But here it's clarifying the 7 of Swords. And so what I'm seeing with these 2 cards together is this person might have had a friends group, or maybe even just like one close friend, and there might have been some sort of betrayal here. And I want to also point out we have the Gossip card as the Archetype card here, and also Trickery, which is clarifying these 2 cards, the betrayal and the friendship card being together and then being clarified by Gossip and Trickery tells me that there's at some point in this person's life they were betrayed by a friends group or a group of close friends, and I'm drawn to the fact that on the 3 of Cups card we have the 3 birds kind of sitting on a branch, and to me it seems like they could be gossiping. They could be displaying the shadow attributes of this Gossip card, which says thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information and betraying confidences. So I think this is definitely something that has happened to this person before. And what I'm seeing with the fact that on the left here we have kind of a progression. I think they went from all the loving, fun energy of this 3 of Cups in their friends group, and then I think they realized the betrayal in the 7 of Swords, that maybe they were being lied to, or gossiped about in a very negative way. It could have been a situation where they might have overheard their friends talking about them in like a upsetting or hurtful way. Because the Three of Cups is also a Cups card, talks about emotions. So I'm thinking that when this happened, it probably hurt this person pretty deeply, and it felt like a very deep betrayal. And that might have caused them to go into kind of an Ace of Swords, where they might have, because it's a swords, I'm getting kind of the sense they might have, the word that's coming to my head is cut, like cutting people out or using cutting words to kind of protect their heart. And I think, the fact that both of these, we have the Ace of Swords being clarified here by the Three of Swords, I think that as a way to cope with how much it hurt to have their friends betraying them like this, I think that your soulmate might have overcorrected and kind of cut themselves off from their own emotions and tried to start a new cycle in the Ace of Swords, which, the Ace of Swords is not a bad thing, but it can be a little bit double-sided in the sense that the Ace of Swords, because Swords is about like intellectual pursuits and things like that. It can talk about like a new having like an epiphany or like a new idea, having that lightning strike moment of, oh, okay, I know, I can see things clearly now. It can also talk about a need to be careful with what we say, or a place or a time in our life when we are not considering the feelings of others before we speak. And so I'm getting the strong impression here that this person, instead of confronting their hurt feelings or going inward, I think they tried to deny the fact that they had any feelings at all, and tried to kind of detach themselves from their emotional body and try to, as I said, like try to start a new cycle in an energy where they were completely detached from their emotions and trying to be purely intellectual and purely logic based and trying not to care about how other people felt. And what I'm seeing here is that, that led to the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords talks about heartbreak. It can talk about something that's very painful, a painful realization. Or, because what I'm seeing is I think this person tried to become this Ace of Swords, but we're not seeing like a progression from like the Ace of Swords to the Queen or King of Swords. We're seeing a progression from the Ace of Swords to the Three of Swords to the Ace of Cups. And so what that is telling me is I think this person had like a painful situation related to the fact that they were trying to detach themselves from their emotional body. And it could have been either they hurt somebody else, maybe by being so detached or by not watching what they were saying, or it could have been that, they were just kind of in denial and not realizing that, how can you have a healthy connection with somebody or start a relationship with somebody when your heart's not open to it, when you're not really connecting on an emotional level. And I think they had this kind of the Three of Swords moment where they're like, oh no. And it could have been a situation with the rejection card here where either they were rejected by somebody because of the way that they were acting. Maybe they, as I said, maybe they weren't watching their words, they weren't taking other people's emotions into account, or maybe they were just trying to approach everything from a very intellectual perspective without considering other people's feelings. Or this could be a situation where they rejected somebody, maybe unintentionally or maybe very harshly, and then they regretted it after the fact. They realized how much it hurt somebody else, and it could have been a moment where they were like, oh no, I'm now becoming the thing that I'm now doing the same thing to hurt somebody else that my friends did to me. I'm hurting somebody a way that I don't want, that really hurt me. And that could have been a moment of realization for them. Because I want to reiterate, there is nothing wrong with the Ace of Swords or being in an Ace of Swords kind of energy. It's a very focused, inspiring, very like clear-headed place to start. There's nothing wrong with starting as an Ace of Swords. I just don't think that was in alignment with who this person truly is. Like, I don't think that was an authentic thing for them, and I don't think they were approaching it in an authentic way. I think it was just as a way to cope with the feeling that of having been betrayed by a friends group that they were very close to. And so I want to point out here that we have this gossip card kind of as like the overall energy here, and I talked about the shadow attributes, and I think that applies to both this friends group or whatever the situation was, that with the betrayal here on the left side, and I think it also pertains to this Ace of Swords leading to the Three of Swords on the right side. However, with this Ace of Cups here, what I'm seeing is I think this person realized, as I said, like they didn't want to do the same thing to other people that had been done to them. And I think they realized that it just wasn't working. That approach wasn't working for them. And I think they started over again from the Ace of Cups, from saying, okay, I can't be totally detached from my emotions because that's not healthy either. That's not for me. It's not who I am. So I think they pivoted. They made a sharp turn to say, okay, I tried to deny the fact that I had any feelings at all, and now I know I have to confront my feelings instead. I have to start over and get to a place where I'm ready to approach the world with an open heart, like being open to emotional connections with people. However, I want to point out a couple of things here. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around a lot. I just don't want to forget anything that I'm picking up here. So I think this person currently, because of this Ace of Cups here being like the end of this cycle, I think they're currently in an Ace of Cups energy where they do have, like they are open emotionally. I think they're displaying the light attributes of the Gossip card, which says, awakens consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. I think that they've realized that that's something that is very important to them, and I think that has allowed them to be in this Ace of Cups energy. And I also want to point out the Trickery card does carry a message of learning from the trickery and deception of others, how we don't want to treat people, like what our true values are. And I think that is very true for this person. I think they had to go through that. I think I use the word overcorrected because I think that is what they tried to do when they tried to enter an Ace of Swords energy. I think it ended up in this Three of Swords, some sort of heartbreak or really painful situation, either their own heartbreak, somebody else's heartbreak, a combination of both, and there was some sort of a rejection there. And I think that they had to rebalance. It's like, okay, I was very... like I was in my Three of Cups, I was feeling so invested in this friendship, in this connection. We were having a great time. We were the three birds on this branch. I didn't realize that somebody was being like the sly, cunning fox in this situation. I didn't realize until they stuck the sword in my back. I didn't realize there was even a sword there at all. And that really hurt me emotionally. I was really in my emotions about it. I tried to deny the fact that I have any emotions at all. I went way too far in the other direction, and I ended up hurting myself and or other people. And so now I'm realizing I have to be in a balanced place where I'm willing to give my heart and attention to the right people and to really value honesty and connecting to other people on an emotional level in a genuine way. And I want to point out a couple other things. So the rejection card can talk about, rejection can help us, like I hesitate to use the phrase grow a thick skin, because, it's not, rejection is a shitty feeling. It doesn't feel good. Like no matter how thick our skin is, it doesn't feel good to get rejected. But there's also a message here that when we own who we are and we're in our genuine energy, it's much harder for people's criticisms or their rejections to get to our heart, and it's harder for that to get through and make us feel like we're not worthy, because when we're being who we genuinely are and we accept and love that about ourselves, the rejection of other people doesn't hurt as much, because we know either this person is not for us or we're not for them, or this person doesn't understand who we really are, and that's not on us, right? That's not it's just the phrase that's coming into my head is, you can be the juiciest peach, but there are people who don't like peaches, and so when somebody kind of comes towards us with that kind of rejection, oftentimes it's either because we're just not compatible, or it's more about them than it is about us. So I did want to, with that interpretation of the rejection card, I also wanted to point out that on the Ace of Cups, it seems like, to me, in because we also have the trickery card here, which has a dragon on it, it almost looks like dragon scales to me, like in the background of the cup. And so that would tell me that this person has been able to embody their own emotional openness and being open to new connections, and giving their cup to somebody who's also going to give a cup back to them, and so they can become the Two of Cups, etc. They're being genuine and expressing their emotions, and at the same time they have developed like this dragon hide of, I know who I am, I'm a powerful, beautiful dragon, and the rejection of other people, that it can't hurt me the way that it used to. Other people's words, when, you know, if they're mean-spirited, if they're coming at me with this Seven of Swords, bad intention, deception energy, if they're gossiping about me in a mean-spirited way, if they're you know, coming at me with a rejection of some sort, with even with the Three of Swords here, if they're using harsh language with the Ace of Swords, they're trying to trick me, whatever it is, I don't have to internalize that anymore. I don't have to let that, you know, I can choose not to let that break my heart anymore. Even though, you know, it still hurts. It will always hurt. It will always be shitty that there are people like that in the world. However, I think this person's in a very healthy place where they're ready to share their heart, and they're also protecting their heart. So I hope that makes sense. What I'm getting from this is the first pile also had a lot of swords energy in the first part of the reading. However, I was feeling like pile one's person is very intellectual, and I think they kind of healed their stuff with their head. Whereas I'm seeing with your pile, this person might have spent a lot of time in their head about it, but I think this person kind of healed what happened here with their heart. They realized they couldn't think their way through an emotional situation, and so they've put the work in to be in a healthy emotional place. So that's what I'm seeing in the first part of your reading, pile one. And now we're going to move into the second part of your reading, which is going to be about your soulmate's personality. So let's get to it. All right, pile two. So here we have the second part of your reading, and this is about your soulmate's personality. And I want to say this is like a beautiful spread of cards. And so bear with me. I'm going to try my best not to forget anything. I did forget some things in pile one, as I always do. There's a lot of information coming through. So, you know, sometimes I mean to say something and then I get distracted. And also I find sometimes when I'm reading and I'm channeling a certain energy, it can make me very tongue-tied, or it can make me like forget what I'm saying mid-sentence. So I always cut those out of the there's, you know, in every video there's like a lot of like 20-second long pauses while I'm trying to remember the rest of my sentence. So I apologize. I am going to get back to the things that I forgot to say in the first part of your reading. So I did want to mention, and I wanted to mention because I'm also seeing it reflected here a little bit in this personality part of the reading. I was hearing a song when I was shuffling the cards for the first part of the reading about your person's past. I was hearing the song. I think it's by Lee Bryce, and I think it's called Hard to Love. And the line that kept repeating in my head was, I'm hard to love, no, I don't make it easy. And I think that relates very strongly to what we were seeing. I think that the hard to love part might have been a belief about this person that they needed to heal in themselves. I think that they might have felt unlovable because of the betrayal that happened with their friends group. And I think that the part that says, no, I don't make it easy, might have been them recognizing that they might have been engaging in some sort of toxic behavior themselves with that Ace of Swords that led to the Three of Swords. And I think that they eventually realized, like, you know, I like that song, but it does kind of, to me, it seems like this person's talking about how damaged they are and how they feel unlovable and they don't understand why their partner is staying with them. But the song doesn't really talk about working on yourself or taking responsibility to kind of heal the damaged parts of ourselves. And what I'm seeing in these cards is that might have been how your person felt back then, but they have put the work in to start healing that stuff about themselves. And there's a particular reason why I'm also wanting to mention that is because we have the damsel card here, and when this card came out, the message, that the way that I would interpret it is this person might have been waiting for somebody to come and either save them, rescue them, or kind of knock some sense into them. They might not have really been even realizing that they were doing that, or being in that kind of energy where it's like, oh, I'm damaged and I'm unlovable, so I need this perfect knight in shining armor to come and save me from my destructive behaviors or patterns or self-beliefs or whatever it was. And with this damsel card with the light attributes, it says, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. And so I'm seeing this person realize nobody was coming to save them, and they needed to be their own knight in shining armor and save their own inner damsel from what was going on. So that's why I'm mentioning that. And then I also did want to point out, just before I forget, that in the first part of the reading, there was a kind of a mix of swords and cups energy. However, I was getting a very strong cups feeling from this person. Either they were very in touch with their emotions, they're more in their kind of heart chakra energy, and it could be that they are a water sign or just have a lot of water in their chart. We are seeing more cups energy here, and this is just, I'm getting confirmation from these cards that that was a correct interpretation, that I think this person had to figure out a way to really balance their intellectual side with their emotional side instead of going from one extreme to the other. I think it was more about finding a balance for this person. So I just wanted to mention that before we move into the cards here. So I'm going to start with the Thief. And that, for me, this card, because the light attribute of this card says, sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. And I think that's the line that really emphasizes what this card means. And then we have a person on the card kind of holding open their suit jacket, and there's a heart inside. And so I think that's the meaning of what can never be stolen. Is what can never be stolen from us is our worthiness of love and our ability to love other people and ourselves. And it might feel like that's been taken from us, but it actually is an internal wellspring that can never run dry. And we just need to find a way to access that in ourselves. And so with the Thief card, what I'm seeing is this person has recognized, and kind of like that might be part of the dragon scales on that Ace of Cups card. They've recognized, I don't even need to be worried about other people coming along and stabbing me in the back again, or stealing my heart again, or whatever it is anymore, because my natural armor is the fact that I know that I'm always going to be worthy of love, and that I will always have love in my heart for other people, and that's something that nobody can ever take away from me. No thief in the world can steal that from anybody. And that's like a beautiful energy to be in, and I really, I love that about this person. Your soulmate seems to be somebody who is very emotionally stable. And I'm seeing that reflected in your tarot cards down there that I'll talk about in a second. So I did talk already about the damsel card, that I think this person realized that nobody was going to intervene on their behalf, and they were going to have to say, okay, no, I don't want to stay in this kind of like poor me energy. Why is nobody stepping in to save me or fix me or save me from myself? And they're like, okay, well, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to have to step up on my own behalf. And they did. Like, I'm getting a really strong, calm, quiet, compassionate sense of like real, genuine self-love and self-respect coming from this person. And that's something that they've had to really work to develop. And then we have the Poet card. And so this card says, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. And so with this card, I'm seeing this person's probably a very good communicator. I don't know that they are as, maybe it's like clear and concise as a lot of the swords kind of energy. It seems that, they probably use more poetic language. There's also a message with we have the King and Queen of Cups down here. I think there's a message with the Queen of Cups specifically, that she's somebody who always knows like the right thing to say in a situation to make other people feel better, or to like give them some sort of valuable insight into a situation, like with love and compassion, to say things the right way, so that you're not hurting other people's feelings or making them feel bad about themselves. And so I think this person is, and we saw that with the first part of the reading, this person's probably very careful because they learned the hard way that it's important to be careful with your words, because words have tremendous power. And so I think you can absolutely trust this person. And with the light aspect of the gossip card and then the first part of the reading, you can absolutely trust this person with your secrets. They will never tell another soul. And I think you can trust this person to always be supportive and to always try to work with you and talk things through with you in a way that's going to benefit everybody involved. And whether that's even just like if you're just in I'll get in moods where it's like, I don't want you to fix my problems, I just want you to listen to me and tell me that you understand. This person is excellent at that. They're never going to say or do anything that's going to make you feel bad about the way that you feel. They're going to validate your feelings. That's what I want to. They're always going to validate your feelings. And so I'm going to move into the miracle card here, and I want to do the chakra wisdom cards first, and then I'll touch on the other cards. So with this miracle card, it is connected with the solar plexus chakra, which is like will, determination, putting our plans into practice, like having the not just the desire to do something, but the determination to follow through with it and to like actually get out there and do something, put ourselves out there in some way. And this miracle card carries a message about, even if everybody else around us is behaving badly or is struggling in some way, we can still be the bright light in the darkness. We can still be embody the positive aspects. We can still be honest and caring and loving and giving. We can be a miracle in ourselves, and we can create miracles for other people, and that's an incredible amount of power. And so I think this person is somebody who likes to kind of live by example in terms of being honest, genuine, loving, compassionate, and treating other people with respect and kindness and caring, even when they're not getting those things back from those people or from anybody. I think they place tremendous value on doing good in the world, regardless of what anybody else is doing. Because simply the act of doing that is not only good for themselves and good for other people, it's also empowering for other people to lead by example like that and put good things out into the universe. And then that's being amplified for me with this passion card, because this card has a princess on it. And this princess was somebody who didn't think that she was above anybody else. Like she was on the same level as everybody in the whole kingdom, like in the whole area of her domain. She didn't see herself as being above anybody else, and she spent all her time volunteering, and she kind of saw herself as on the same level as the common people. And she had a family who was pressuring her like, you're not acting like royalty, you're not being a noble or whatever. And then the kingdom ended up holding an election, and to all the royals' surprises, they ended up electing the princess as their leader. And so when I was talking about, leading by example and being a force for good in the world, I think that that's something that this person is very passionate about. I think that is their passion. They don't, they want to meet everybody on an equal playing field. This might be somebody who is also passionate about volunteering or like spending their time giving to other people in a genuine and honest way. And it's not in a way that's like self-sacrificing. I think it's in a way that's self-empowering. And so I would say like this person absolutely genuinely values being able to be a force for good in the world. And then we have the wisdom card. And I mean, this card, it has a simple message of just like learning and growing from our experiences and being able to gain wisdom from the things that have happened to us in the past. And it also carries a message of maybe consulting our elders or people in positions of authority. So it could be that this person maybe has like maybe very in touch with their ancestors, whether they're living or in spirit. It could be that they have, an older family member that they've turned to for advice. It could be talking about being in therapy or a support group of some kind, and taking a lot of value and wisdom out of that experience. And I think this is somebody who finds wisdom and meaning in their experiences, and has worked hard in order to do that. Because also the Poet card can also talk about finding beauty and joy in the simple parts of life, like finding beauty in things that other people might overlook. And I think this person can find beauty and find wisdom in that this person has really transmuted their experiences. They've had bad experiences with other people, and they've really learned and grown and done the work to get the wisdom out of those situations. And I think they're passionate about giving back that wisdom to other people. And that's why I'm getting that message that maybe they volunteer a lot, or maybe they, if they are part of a support group, maybe it's something that they're a part of, like organizing. Maybe they run a support group. Whatever it is, I see them like really caring about other people and making that a priority in their life, to share that wisdom and passion and miracle with other people. And so I'm going to talk about the Moonology cards here. We have faith in your dreams and surrender to the divine. And with both of these cards, I would see these, they're connected with, based on the colors on the cards, connected with the third eye chakra and maybe the crown chakra. And, there's the word faith, there's the word dreams, surrender, divine. We have the word miracle. We have the miracle card here. And then we have the Hermit card, and we have the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups both sitting in sort of a meditative pose. And so I think that this person is highly spiritual. And I would, I'd go ahead and say they probably cultivated a spiritual practice and got very in touch with their spiritual side as a way to reopen their heart after the painful experiences they've been through, so that they could heal the damage. And the scars might still be there. Scars might always be there, but they're not suffering from it anymore. And I think they're using it as a way to become somebody who's never going to never intentionally hurt anybody else the way that they've been hurt. So I do think they are very spiritually connected. I think they have a lot of faith in the divine, whatever that means for them. It could be that they have a spiritual practice. Maybe they meditate a lot. Maybe they're in touch with their spirit guides or their ancestors. It could also be that they are a religious person, and whatever that means for them. It could be, we do have the word miracle here, so whatever their religion is, that could be something that they really believe in, and that has like tremendous meaning for them. And it could be that maybe they have a lot of really intense dreams. That could be a way that they connect with spirit. And it could be, I'm just pulling this out because the word dreams is here. It could be a way for that, if you haven't met yet, it could be a way that you might know when you're about to meet this person. They might connect with you in your dreams. So just throwing that out there. That won't resonate for everybody, and that's okay. Either way, I think that this person has worked hard to cultivate a spiritual practice that works for them. And I don't see them as being somebody, if that's, you are watching a tarot card reading, but if being like really spiritual and stuff, if that's not for you, or if that's not part of who you are, or something that you're interested in, I don't see them being someone who's like would force that on anybody. I really don't see them doing that. But I do think it's something that is important to them. Like that's an important part of their daily routine and how they've managed to develop into the person that they are. So I'm going to talk about the tarot cards now. So we do have kind of a progression here is the way I would see it, because we did have the Three of Swords in the first part of the reading, and then we have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords talks about like rest, needing a need for rest, a need for self-care. There's a woman here that's curled up in a nest. She's kind of taking care of herself. Her heart is there, safe in the nest with her. And then I see that as like this person recognizing, okay, I have to take time out from whatever the situation is, put the brakes on it, and refocus on myself, because there's something here that's damaged so that I need to take care of. And I think they took it very seriously, because then we have the Hermit card, which can talk about be like taking that time for in isolation perhaps, or even just like emotional isolation in terms of like, I'm not going to focus on other people or relationships right now. I'm going to focus on myself. It's a time for self-reflection, for figuring out what I need and what I think and what my values are. And there's also sometimes a message with this card that's kind of echoing the Miracle card of, once I figure this stuff out, I will be able to help other people, but I have to help myself first. I have to learn how to love myself first and heal my own heart first before I can and show up genuinely as this miracle energy. Because, you know, we have the King and Queen of Cups here, and there's the phrase that's coming into my head is, you can't pour from an empty cup, you know. So I think this person realized the importance of filling their own cup first so that they can then go and fill other people's cups as well. And I think, you know, there's this person, the Hermit on the card, is shining out, like shining a light out into the darkness. So that's kind of a connection, another connection to this Miracle card here. And then we have the Temperance card. And so there is a connection with this card. Just before I forget, there's a guardian angel on the card. You can see this figure has wings. And so it's, I think, supposed to represent, I forget which angel actually, unfortunately, but it is a guardian angel. And so I think this is a message, you know, again, a reiteration that this person is probably somebody who's like deeply invested in a spiritual practice. And even if they're not, I think this person is being divinely protected and divinely guided. So that's just an additional message. And then the Temperance card can talk about trying to find balance between two things through a process of trial and error. So this kind of brings me back to, as I said at the beginning of the reading, of this person needing to kind of like reinvent themselves a couple of times and really kind of go through the back and forth of, okay, I reacted too much, you know, too far in one direction to this situation. I need to rebalance out in the other direction now. And that's what I'm seeing with this Temperance card, is that like needing to try things out and find a balance between the intellectual side and the emotional side. And I think that this person has absolutely been able to do that. I think that they're able to be very emotionally secure and also use discernment, like use their mind in order to balance their feelings. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. There's another echo of the word balance also with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. I was surprised when both these cards came out. And so I think that there's a couple of things here. The first thing that immediately popped into my head is this person, as I said, is very balanced. They have a very even distribution of like the divine masculine and divine feminine traits. I think that there's somebody who is able to stand up for and assert what they want and make things happen for themselves and other people, and also somebody who is very open and receptive and has faith in the universe that the things that are meant for them are going to come towards them, and that when they put good things out, they will get good things back. I think this person definitely believes in kind of the karmic balance of the universe. And so, like, in addition to the message that this person is very, very emotionally stable, very emotionally available, compassionate, caring, nurturing, supportive. This person, you know, with the Poet card is always going to use their words to help and support other people. They're extremely trustworthy and reliable. They will always show up for you the way that you need them to. And this is somebody who's always going to have your back. And I want to say, because this person does have such a good balance here, there's also a message coming through, because we have both, you know, the King and Queen of Cups are counterparts, you know, and I think that, especially with the Damsel card up top, that this person realized they needed to be their own knight in shining armor. I think this person has, like, first of all, I think they're very open and they're your soulmate. They're going to be an excellent partner in a relationship with you, and I think that's something that this person wants and is looking for, right? However, I think they've healed the part inside of them that felt like they like in an unhealthy way needed to be in a relationship, or needed to, like, I think there might have been some part of them, and especially with the Four of Swords and the Hermit here, speaks about a need to separate ourselves so that we can figure out who we are and what our emotional needs are. I think they might have been looking for that stuff in the wrong places, or in other people, or in relationships with other people. instead of turning inwards and focusing on themselves. And I think with the Queen of Cups being here, I don't think this person is desperate to be in a relationship in an unhealthy way anymore, because I think they've managed to become whole. They've realized that they are a whole person. They have both of these sides inside of them, and they can be whole and have a whole healed heart. And they're not waiting for somebody else to come along and heal their heart for them. And this is going to allow you to be in a relationship with this person who is extremely stable, and emotionally secure, and is able to bring that to the relationship, and to have a very equal, loving, caring, nurturing, healthy relationship that's in balance with the Temperance card. It's a balance. And so I'd see it as a very positive thing that we have both the King and the Queen of Cups here. This person has really delved deep, and they've put the work in, and done all of the soul searching that they needed to do to get to a place where they're kind of the ideal partner. I'm going to say that. And I'm going to also say, along with the spirituality message and the balance message, we are seeing, I'm seeing all of the chakra colors represented in these cards. And so I'd say that this person's very much in alignment. They're in alignment, very balanced, very stable energy. This person knows who they are, and they know what they want. And they're very willing to and ready, especially with the Ace of Cups, they're willing and ready to give and receive in a relationship in an honest, open, and loving way. So that's going to be this part of the reading for you, pile 2. Now I'm going to move into the third part of your reading, which is just going to be some extra information about this person. We might get some extra personality traits, maybe information about their current status, or maybe info about their appearance. I don't know. We'll see what comes out in the cards. So I will see you in the next part of the reading. Okay, pile 2, we have the third part of your reading here. I want to apologize. I know it can sometimes be hard to see all of the cards. I wanted to get a really clear picture. So I pulled a lot of cards, and unfortunately I do not have the best filming setup, so I'm doing my best. With that said, let's get into it. I want to say with these cards here, I am getting the sense that because of the hard work this person has done, your soulmate has done on healing the parts of themselves that needed to be healed, and really taking responsibility for their own self-growth and self-improvement, they're bringing in a lot of great karma for themselves, and that probably includes a relationship with you. I think, as I was seeing in the last part of the reading, this person, and even in the first part of the reading, this person seems to be at a place where they are very ready to give you their Ace of Cups, so that you can come together in the Two of Cups, the beautiful partnership. And I did forget in the previous part of the reading to mention that, I just wanted to kind of state the obvious. I think I forgot. I might not have. But either way, with both the King and Queen of Cups coming out for your person, there's a good chance this person is a water sign, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And, that could just be their sign, or it could be that they have a lot of water in their chart. Or it could just be that that's part of their personality, So moving into the cards here, I will say the Addict card came out, and when it came out, I was getting I almost felt like an instinctual kind of this person's an addict. What does that mean? And they could be an addict in recovery. 100%, that could be something that applies to them. But part of my confusion was also that I was getting that message also for pile 1, and I was it could be true for both piles, but I don't know that there's a huge population of recovering addicts. I am one. I know that there are a lot. I was I don't know that is what this card is talking about. And then I read what the light attribute says, and it says, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. And so it could be that this person is an addict in recovery, or it could be talking about the messages that I was getting about putting things into balance, and how it seemed like in the first part of this reading, this person might have been going to extremes to try to change their behavior in order to avoid dealing with the painful things that had happened to them and avoid dealing with their emotions and feelings. And so I think that this card might just be saying that that is something that this person has learned to do with themselves, is to confront their own thoughts and behaviors, that maybe they still might have like an ingrained response to go to one extreme or the other, and they're really working on being in a balanced place where they can have and recognize their emotions without needing to respond in an unhealthy way. And it could also be that this is something that this person helps other people with too, because I was getting the sense that your soulmate is somebody who loves helping other people. And I know as being an addict myself that like a big part of the recovery community is one addict helping another, because I had people who helped me when I needed it, and it's important to me that I'm also helping other people and I'm there for people when they need me, to kind of pay it forward in that sense. And that could also be connected with, we saw on the wisdom card, this person might have a mentor of some kind, mentor or a family member or a therapist or however that applies to them, and then they might be interested in also giving back in that same sense to other people. So that's what I'm getting from this addict card being here up at the top. And then we also have the other two archetype cards here are storyteller and teacher. I think I would say that the storyteller might be connected to the poet card in the previous part of the reading. It could be that this is a way that this person is being a light and for other people, and sharing their experiences might be something that has really helped them. And that your soulmate might be a very creative person, and they might be a writer or a poet or a musician. Especially we have on the judgment card down there, we have somebody playing an instrument. So they could be a musician or play an instrument or write their own music, write their own songs. And that could be a way that it helps them express their emotional side, and helps them share that with other people so that they're able to help other people also benefit from the things that, like their own experiences. And then we also have teacher. And so that's really kind of emphasizing for me that as I said, this person loves helping people. And I would definitely, especially the Hermit card also kind of carries that message of, I've already climbed the mountain, so I'm going to stand on top of the mountain with a lantern to help the people who are climbing up behind me see the way in the darkness. I see that absolutely applying to your soulmate. I think that even they might be a teacher, that could be their job, or part of their job, or it could just be a symbolic way of saying that this person loves sharing their knowledge and experiences as a way to help other people also learn and grow. And then I will talk about the Moonology cards, but I want to start with the Chakra cards because I think these are also important. They're also echoing a lot of the same things that we saw in the last part of the reading, and maybe giving a little bit of additional context as to where this person is right now. Because with the insecurity card, we can see on this card there's a kind of a demon standing next to a person with their heart. And so there's a connection between the demon and the heart. And so with this card, it carries a message of, I'm my own worst enemy. I need to face the demons inside me. And I think that that's something this person has really overcome, is their insecurity, and really recognized that I think I was talking about this in the first part of the reading. What other people do, and think about me and say to me, and the mean things and the harsh words and the rejections that other people, come towards me with, say a lot more about them than they do about me. And I do not need to internalize those things. I can choose, by slaying my own demons and facing my own fears, I can choose how to respond to that. And I think that this person has really overcome their insecurities based on, they had a good reason to feel insecure because, the people in their life were not trustworthy, right? They had that friends group that was really not trustworthy. So I think that they realized that they were going to have to turn inwards and face their own feelings about that in order to overcome that stuff. And I think something that really helped this person was their faith, because I'm getting that message with both the confusion card and the prayer card. I think this person they've overcome their security and they've gone through a very confusing time. And the confusion card carries a message of needing to move forward even when we can't see the path, because we have faith that we're being divinely guided. And that, even if we're going through a fog, it will end eventually. Our confusion will end eventually. And I think that this is how this person moved forward. I think that they were in a time in their life when they were very confused. I think that they might have been confused about what they wanted to do as in terms of a career. They might have been confused about, like, how do I approach relationships? Like, why, there might have been, we had the message of the song. They might have been confused about how their own behavior was contributing to why their relationships weren't working out. And I think they were confused about their own worthiness and how their own, like, self-beliefs and negative self-beliefs were also contributing to their behavior and to how other people were responding to them. And I think that by embracing the faith and moving towards healing, even when they might not have been able to understand or see, really kind of see a clear way to move forward, I think that they moved forward on the faith that they were going to be able to heal themselves and get to a place of stability. And they did. And that the message about having faith in the confusion card is being echoed in the prayer card. And prayer, it doesn't necessarily mean like a religious prayer. It could. I was getting that like a very spiritual energy from the last part of the reading, not necessarily religious, but it could be religious. So it could be, prayer could be something that's very important to this person. Or it could just be their connection to spirit is very important to them, and their faith in the universe is important, because this card is talking about the fact that there is a divine plan. And like, regardless of whether we can see it or not, there is a divine plan. So that's really kind of a repeated message here. I think this person's prayer and their faith helped them get out of this confusion energy and helped them overcome their insecurity and fears. And I think because this is a solar plexus card, I think this really helped them kind of take control of the direction of their life. Once they started maybe connecting with spirit and connecting to their spirit guides, because the confusion card is associated with the crown chakra, which talks about our connection to the universe and to spirit. And then we're also seeing some crown chakra energy actually in a lot of the cards, and also in the two Moonology cards up at the top. So I think that once they started realizing that they did have a spiritual connection and they were in contact with their spirit guides, they were being divinely guided, they started communicating with spirit, and I think they were able to figure out what their path was and figure out what their calling was. And I think part of their calling was to be able to help other people through their storytelling abilities, through their teaching abilities, to reach out and give back to other people who have struggled the way that they have. That might be a big part of their calling. And so I'm going to talk about the tarot cards now. And so we're starting with the Judgment card. And what was funny was when I was shuffling the cards of this deck, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I started singing the song Memories from the musical Cats. And the first card that came out is a Judgment card with the person playing the instrument. So I just want to repeat the idea that this is somebody who might be a musician. They might play an instrument. They might love to sing. That might be something that they really enjoy doing. It might just be like a hobby or a passion of theirs, or it could be part of their job. But I would say this is probably somebody who really likes like singing in the shower or singing along to the radio. That would strike me as a part of their personality. And so the Judgment card, the reason why at the top of this part of the reading I was talking about, because of the work this person has done, I see good karma coming towards them. It is partly because of this Judgment card here. And the Judgment card can talk about a couple of things. It can talk about transitioning from one life cycle to the next, which I could see, this person has put a ton of work in. They're now embodying the King and Queen of Cups, and they're ready to start something new with the Ace of Cups. And the Judgment card can also talk about having a spiritual awakening, which again, 100% could see this applying to your soulmate here. I think that they have gone through a spiritual awakening, whether they realize it or not, whether they would call it that or not. I'm seeing a lot of connection to spirit, spirituality, meditation, prayer, and having a spiritual practice. And there's an additional message of finally being able to see things clearly and see the truth of a situation, and being able to move forward the way that we need to, because we have a true understanding of the way things are, who we are, where we stand, our place in the world, which would tell me that this person has gone through their confusion stage and has discovered what is meant for them, however that applies. And I think that this person, because the next card is the Three of Wands being followed by the Two of Wands, I think this person, and especially the person on the Judgment card, is they're having the time of their life, totally carefree. They know they're being taken care of. They know they're being divinely guided. And the Three of Wands can talk about waiting for the things to come in. We've done our manifestation work. We've put our positive intentions out into the universe. We've started working on creating something. And now we're waiting to see the results from that. And we know the results are going to come in. And then we have the Two of Wands, which talks about, it can talk about potential. That's one of the key words. See the person there is holding the world in their hand. They can do anything. They can go anywhere. I'm sorry if you can hear the truck outside. They have their whole potential, and it's a very exciting time. This person is ready to go on adventures. They're ready to try new things, go new places, see what potential is out there for them. And I think it's largely due to this Judgment card. That this person absolutely believes that they're on the right path and that their blessings are coming towards them, and they're excited about life. And then I'm going to address the Five of Pentacles card, and it came out with the Justice card. And so the way that I would be called to read that is, this person is finally receiving justice for the Five of Pentacles in their life. And the Five of Pentacles is a card, you can see in the image on the card, talks about being left out in the cold, feeling abandoned, feeling isolated, feeling like we didn't get something that we wanted, disappointment. And it can talk about maybe financial insecurity. And there is also a message with this card that I forgot to mention it in the previous part of the reading. The Passion card that was talking about that princess who loves volunteering can also carry a message about maybe being disowned or estranged from family because we've chosen to follow our calling or follow our heart instead of maybe what the other expectations were for us. And that could be reflected here in this Five of Pentacles. That could have been something that happened with this person when they went through their spiritual awakening and chose to embrace their emotional side. It could have been that there was some sort of break from their family or their stability with the Five of Pentacles. They might have been left on their own to figure it out. And that could have also contributed to the insecurity and confusion cards here. I'm seeing that your person might really have had to, at least in the beginning, do this work on their own. And they figured it out. They really stepped up. They embraced it as an opportunity to follow their heart. And they're getting their justice, whatever that means for them. The Justice card can talk about the karmic balance. And that's what I would see here. And it's not even about if people have done bad things, the people, whoever the Seven of Swords in their Three of Cups, the first part of the reading, whoever it was that treated them badly and deceived them, lied to them, maybe somebody cheated on them, however that applied to this situation, this card is not even really necessarily talking about those people getting bad karma for what they've done, because I think your soulmate understands that doesn't even really matter. What matters is your soulmate is getting their just, fair result and outcome and blessing from the good karma they're putting out there. Your soulmate wants to be a bright light in the darkness. They want to be a force for good in the world. They want to use their ability to connect to other people through their words, through music, through teaching, through giving back in some way, to put bright beautiful, positive love into a world where they might not have been receiving those things. And your person has 100% faith that those things are going to come towards them. And with this Justice card being here, I see that they are. And especially, and now I'm going to address the Moonology cards, we have the energy is gaining momentum with the waxing moon, and a time for healing with the balsamic moon. And I would see this as your person has taken the time to heal. They've given themselves the time with the Four of Swords and the Hermit card. They've given themselves the necessary time to heal the things that they needed to heal in order to bring their positive karma towards them and their blessings towards them, and in order to manifest the things that they absolutely deserve. And with the energy gaining momentum, I see that as a message from Spirit that this person is probably coming towards you fairly soon. And you might be feeling, because both of these cards are like, they have crown chakra colors and some third eye, there's kind of an in-between color. You might feel this person's energy, or you might be connecting to this person in your dreams. I did have that message in the previous part of the pile. You might be able to sense when this person is coming towards you. You might see some synchronicities about it that might be telling you this person's coming in soon. So if you are trying to manifest a soulmate, this is a positive message from the universe. I can see this person is like ready. They're ready. I can't speak for you. I don't know how ready you would be, but there's absolutely, I don't think you're going to have to wait very long for this person to come into your life, because the energy is gaining momentum. And their connection with you is one of those beautiful blessings that they're getting from the universe. I mean, it's not necessarily like such like a transactional process, but it is something that they are going to receive because they've been so loving and caring and compassionate, put all of that bright light into their life and the lives of other people. So this has been the third part of your reading today, pile 2. I'm going to finish off by getting some paper messages that have some attributes, maybe some personality traits, physical characteristics, some zodiac signs. We'll see what comes out. And then I'm going to roll some dice, and that'll just be maybe numbers that are important to your relationship in some way, or it could be months of the year or zodiac signs. So I'm going to throw them out there, and then I'm going to fix them up. And the last time I did this for pile 1, I knocked over my light. And so I'm going to be a little bit more careful this time. So just give me one sec. Okay, pile 2. So here are just some additional traits about your soulmate. We have some contradictory information. So, some might apply to some of you, some might apply to others. And just, take whatever resonates for you. We have spring, autumn, and winter here. So that's like almost the full year. There could be a message here that this person is not a huge fan of summer. Maybe they are not a huge fan of the warm weather. Not sure about that. But these could be their favorite months of the year. It could be that this person lives somewhere where there are a lot of seasons, like seasonal changes. The leaves falling in the autumn, and then snow in the winter, and then things starting to bloom in the spring. That's kind of what I mean. Or it could be that they're born in the spring, the autumn, or the winter. Or that could be kind of a wide range of time during which the two of you might meet. So take that however it resonates. This person might have fair hair, and I would see that this person loves children and loves animals. Makes sense. They're a very compassionate person, very loving person. So it seems like they have a big heart and a lot of love. And then we have tall and short. So this person might either be, very tall, much taller than you, or very short, on the shorter end of the spectrum, or there could be a height difference in your relationship. Maybe one of you is very tall and the other one is very short. Again, take that however it resonates. And then we have Cancer and Leo. So that could be either your or their sun sign, or an important sign in their chart. I was getting a lot of water energy, especially with the King and Queen of Cups being there. And a Cancer would make sense for me. And a Leo would also make sense. I think that they both have that kind of compassionate, family-oriented sort of energy. We do have close-knit family. I know I was just talking about how this person might be estranged from their family, and they might be, or they could have a very close-knit family, or it could be that they have a very close relationship with one of their, like an older family member that might have been coming out in the wisdom card, or it could be that maybe they have a found family that they've kind of created for themselves and they're very close to, if that makes sense. Or it could just be that they really want to have a close-knit family, because that might not be something that they had growing up. And then we also have small family and large family. So again, a bit of a contradictory information here. Either or could be true for this person. It could be that they come from a small family and they want to have a large family because they do love children. It could be that they come from a large family and they want to have sort of a smaller, closer knit family with fewer children, or maybe they don't want to have children if that's not something that you want. Just whatever applies to them. And then we also have, I rolled a 3, a 4, and a 9. So it could be a 3 or 4 or 9 is significant to your relationship in some way. It could be the day of the month when you meet them, or it could be March, April, or September. And we do have spring and autumn here. Or this person could be a Gemini, a Cancer again, or a Sagittarius. So again, take that however it resonates. And thank you very much for watching Pile 2. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Keep your eyes peeled because I will be putting out a video about your relationship with your soulmate. So this is all about them, and then the next video is going to be about your relationship together. And if you like this video, please give it a like. That really helps me out. Feel free to comment. Let me know how it resonated for you, and maybe some ideas of things you'd like to see in future videos. And be sure to subscribe so that you won't miss my other video when it comes out. And again, thank you very much for watching Pile 2, and I hope to see you in my next one. Hello Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. I am very excited about today's reading, which is going to be all about your soulmate. And we're going to start off here with these cards, which are about your soulmate's past. So these could be like past relationships, past significant events in their life that have shaped them into the person that they are today. And then we'll get into their personality and then some additional information about your person. So starting off here, we have the Son of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Chariot. And I want to say a couple of things really stood out to me when I was drawing your cards. When this Son of Pentacles card came out, it's the Knight of Pentacles, and usually that carries a particular message. However, when this card came out, I was getting the sense, like something that popped into my head was the words family legacy. And it doesn't look to me like the deer or the stag on this card is happy. And so I would be called to read this as like a Son of Pentacles, like somebody maybe who grew up with a wealthy family or maybe a lot of family expectations. And they might have had to carry a mantle of expectation that they weren't happy with. And that's not a typical reading of this card necessarily. However, that's an intuitive sense that I'm getting here. And then I also wanted to mention, first of all, we have a lot of major arcana here, which means I think this person's been through a lot of major changes or managed to change major things about themselves or their circumstances. And also, the second thing that came to me kind of intuitively based on these cards is your soulmate has really had to learn how to step into their personal power and really embrace their own inner strength and look to themselves for direction. I think that with the way I'm reading this Son of Pentacles card, I think that they might have had to figure out what path was meant for them by breaking the expectations of the people around them. And so I am going to talk about the Knight of Pentacles, which is what this card is. The Knight of Pentacles is a knight who is making methodical, slower moving, consistent progress towards a goal. And that could be a financial goal because the Pentacle suit talks about money, finances, financial abundance. And the Knight of Pentacles is usually pretty assured about their abundance. They're not like worried about rushing towards anything because they know when they put consistent progress in, they're going to get where they're going. And then we have this card being kind of contrasted with the Chariot card. And the Chariot card is also about forward momentum. However, it's I think, a more faster moving energy, and it's forward momentum based on a very clear understanding of the path that I want to take. It's saying, I know exactly where I want to go. I feel inspired about it. I'm taking control of the direction here, and I have a very strong clarity of purpose. And I would say that these cards are being contrasted against each other. There is some mirroring in the images here. We have a moon on both cards, and we also have a pentacle on both cards. And so I think it's interesting because the deer or the stag on the Son of Pentacles card, I guess it's a stag, I don't know, is kind of looking away, not really facing forward. To me, I mean, the Knight of Pentacles is about forward momentum. It's just kind of a slower energy. To me, it doesn't look like this stag is moving at all. It seems a little bit stagnant, and it's looking away from all the other cards. It's not really even looking at like forward towards the viewer. And it's also a very dark card. And I want to, I'm being drawn to the fact that the only spot of color on this card is the moon. And the moon talks about secrets and illusions and like things that we keep hidden. And so I would be drawn to saying your soulmate might have felt trapped for a time. And it could be a situation like if somebody knows that they're not this is just an example. If somebody knows that it's not fulfilling their soul to go in every single day and work an office job at a 9 to 5, but they're expected to do it, and they're expected to do it either out of obligation or it's a family job, like a family company or whatever it is, and they go in every day, and they absolutely hate it because they feel like they have no control over the situation. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up from this card, especially because we have the Chariot card next to it. And if this is like a lesson that this person has learned, they've learned how to get out of that energy and into the Chariot energy. And the Chariot has a horse on it, and a horse is a symbol of freedom. It's a symbol of freedom and personal power. The horse is being backlit by what I would consider to be like a sun, the bright rays of the sun. There's still a moon there, but it's not the only bright spot in this person's life. I think the Son of Pentacles in this situation had a lot of like hidden desires and hidden pleasures that they were not being authentic about. But with the Chariot, they've learned how to embrace that, and they're finally making, like, it seems to me this horse is moving, it's in motion. They're finally making forward progress because I think they've realized what wasn't working for them and have taken back the control in the situation and said, this isn't for me. I'm going to find something that is for me, and I'm going to take steps towards it. I'm really going to move towards the things that are meant for me. And next, I'm going to address the victim card in the middle here. And this I did pull it like this, which means it's showing the shadow attributes of the victim. And what's interesting is in the guidebook that came with this deck, it does mention that everybody has the victim archetype because every single person has the ability to be victimized by somebody else, right? But we can choose whether we're going to display the light attributes of the victim, which means just recognizing that other people could victimize us, but we don't have to internalize that. We don't have to allow it to happen. We have as much control over a situation as we have, and we can exercise that control. Or it could be showing the shadow attributes of the victim, which is usually about, playing the victim in order to elicit like sympathy or pity, because that might be the only positive attention we know how to get, or it might be a learned behavior. It might be like a coping mechanism. It could be that we have not had healthy coping mechanisms modeled to us, or we just grew up in an environment where maybe the only way we could get attention was by being a victim. And either way, this is part of what your soulmate has learned to get out of and release and let go of, is the feeling that they don't, like, that's what I'm getting with this Son of Pentacles Chariot dissipating side, is they're letting go of this idea that things happen to them and around them, and they're starting to make things happen for themselves. And so I am going to talk about the dissipating card, and it is associated with the solar plexus chakra, which is about determination, will, self-esteem, and taking the steps to manifest, to make things happen. like going out and doing stuff is associated with the solar plexus chakra. It's saying, I want that, and I can, and I will make it happen. However, this dissipating card carries a message about not following through with something. It can carry a message about talking a lot about what we actually want, what we really want to do. Maybe we know what we want. Maybe it's hidden up in that moon and on the Sun of Pentacles what our true desires are, and we might talk about it a lot or share it a lot, or even just like write about it in our journal, like think about it, daydream about it a lot. But this card carries a message that if we get the opportunity to do the thing, we have to actually follow through with it. You know, when the universe hands us an opportunity or makes something available to us, it is up to us to take the necessary steps to make sure that whatever we're daydreaming about can become a reality. And so this card does carry a message about stepping into our power to create and be a part of the things that we want to create and the things that we want to be a part of. It is about taking control of the direction that we're going in. And if you've, so this, like specifically, this would be, an example of this would be maybe somebody who is always talking about wanting to do something creative. Maybe they want to write a book or start a YouTube channel, do something like that. And they're always either talking about it or thinking about it, but they're never actually doing it. But I'm seeing with the Chariot card here, your soulmate eventually got to a point where they were like, well, I'm sick of sitting around and waiting. I need to actually just, shoot my shot and go towards the thing that I want. And that is something they've learned how to do. They're stepping out of their shadow victim where things are happening to them and they're feeling sorry for themselves, like the stag on the card. And they've said, no, I'm the horse in this situation. I have my own freedom. I have my own personal power here. And I can choose not to be the victim or not to play the victim. So then we're moving on to the right side. We have the Strength card and the Six of Pentacles. And so with the Strength card here, I'm definitely seeing, this is one of, this is connected to the Chariot card and the World card and, turning that victim card upside down and like embracing personal strength. And I think that it's very connected with the Impatience card, because the Impatience card can talk about having a need to control something because we don't have faith in the outcome. So it's like maybe putting like too much energy, investing too much in making sure that we can control all the little details of a situation in order to get the exact outcome that we want, when in reality we're only creating problems and obstacles for ourselves and creating consequences by being overly controlling. Because if, by not having faith that we're going to get a positive outcome or that, we're being guided, the universe has our back. There's a guardian angel on this card, or I don't know if that's the real meaning of this figure, but I would see it as a guardian angel. This person's reaching up to control the moon instead of trusting that the moon's going to do its job regardless of interference, And I think that this is something that your soulmate has had to learn to let go of. And it could be that with the victim card in reverse here, this person, I think I've said this for every pile so far, but it seems like this person might have a difficult relationship with family. Maybe they have legitimately been victimized, or they grew up in a home that was either unpredictable, maybe a little bit chaotic. And I could see this Impatient card showing up as the symptoms of codependency, which can include people-pleasing and caretaking. And because those are ways to try to control an environment where we feel like we don't have much control at all. Like it's ways to kind of try to control the behavior of other people in an unhealthy way. And that might be something that this person has really struggled with, is letting go of those codependent behaviors, having faith that they don't need to people please or caretake in order to get people to love them or care about them, that they're lovable and worthy of being cared for in an equal exchange without needing to control the reactions of other people around them. And I would definitely see that as a shadow attribute of a victim. It's not maybe necessarily playing the victim, but it's, I've been legitimately victimized. And part of the shadow of that might be overcompensate, what's the word I want? Being overly invested in how other people feel about me. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because the lion on the strength card is not worried about other people not liking it. The lion on the strength card knows their value. And they don't need to control. They don't need to force anything. They know they're a lion. They don't need to throw their weight around. They have faith in their own strength and their own ability to overcome any obstacle that might come towards them. And I want to point out there's an infinity symbol on this lion's head, and that's reminding me of, I haven't addressed the Six of Pentacles yet. And the Six of Pentacles can talk about that equal exchange, the give and take, being on even ground with someone. And it is a Pentacles card, so it could literally be talking about money. It could be related to, if this Knight of Pentacles, Son of Pentacles, Chariot situation was something that had to do with this person's career or financial status, it could be that part of embracing their personal strength has been getting to a place where they're more comfortable, which would be on being on even financial footing with somebody else, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't seem like there's a power imbalance anymore. And that's probably because this person has been healing their codependency. And I'll talk about the World card. I just also, before I forget, wanted to mention that we have, I would see a Sun on the Chariot and a Sun on the Strength card. I think this person is really working on having a very positive attitude as well, and might be working on manifestation if that's something that they're into, or it might be something that they're just doing unconsciously or just naturally, because they've shifted from an attitude of lack, of not having enough, not being able to achieve their dreams, into an attitude of, I can absolutely achieve my dreams. I'm not worried about it. I don't need to control other people. I don't need to play the victim in my relationships. I know that I'm worthy of love. I know I can have whatever I want in this world, and I can have an equal partnership with other people and in my relationships. I also want to mention, we do have Earth energy here with the Two Pentacles cards. There's also a Pentacle on the Chariot card, and a Sun, and a Lion. So your soulmate may be an Earth sign, might have a lot of Earth placements, or they might be a fire sign, and especially a Leo. So just take that as it resonates. And then we have the World card. And so this is telling me, this person might have had all this stuff going on. However, they are nearing the end of a cycle. They've learned from this. Even though the victim came out with the shadow attributes, I don't think this person is still in the shadow attributes. I think that this person has worked really hard on getting to a place where they're ending this cycle by embodying their inner lion or lioness, and getting on their chariot and deciding where they want to go, deciding the direction of their own life, and accepting that they can achieve and have whatever they want as long as they take steps towards it. So that has been the first part of your reading, pile 3, where we've talked about your soulmate's past. And now we're going on to the next part of the reading, where I will talk about your soulmate's personality, and then we'll get some extra info, etc. So I'm going to go set that up. Okay, pile 3, here we have some information about your soulmate's personality. And I want to start off by apologizing if you can hear my cat yelling. It's getting close to his mealtime and he gets a little bit hangry. So very relatable, but I'm sorry if you can hear him in the background. So I'm going to start with the archetype cards on the top. So the cards we have are Scribe, Prostitute, and Student. And I want to say I am getting like a very down-to-earth vibe. These cards are all shades of green, I would say. And so this could be confirmation that this person is an earth sign or just very grounded. That's the sense that I'm getting here. So with the Scribe card, the light attribute for this card is preserving knowledge and information. And so I think that this might be a clue, maybe as to what this person does for a job. They might have writing as part of their job. I would see it more like maybe on the technical writing side. Maybe they work in a communications department, or they could be a journalist. Like, this card is concerned with preserving information. So, or they could be a librarian or work in a library, or that could just be something that they're interested in, like the preservation of information. And I would see this being connected with the student card here, which says humility and devotion to knowledge and openness to lifelong learning. So this person could be a student. They could be working and taking classes, or it could be that they have a lot of education. Maybe they went to school for a long time. Maybe they have an advanced degree or several degrees in a field. But I think there's just an openness to learning and skill building here. And I would see that reflected in the Eight of Pentacles card down at the bottom, which can also carry a message about skill building and learning new things. And so I'm going to address the prostitute card. First of all, I want to say we all have this archetype. Along with the victim card, we all have the prostitute archetype too, because this card carries a message of needing to evaluate how much we're willing to sacrifice in order to survive. And the light attribute card side of this card says, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And so I would see this being related to that Knight of Pentacles chariot situation in your soulmate's past. I think that this is something that they've needed to learn, which is not giving up their personal power in a situation in order to achieve financial security or a financial goal, or in order to survive. And that could be talking about survive emotionally, like I was talking about codependency. I think that this person might have realized at some point that they were giving up too much of themselves in order to simply survive in a situation, rather than stepping into their personal power and learning how to thrive and how to really change the direction and take control in their own life. And I want to throw out there, there's nothing wrong with sex work, and I don't think it should be as stigmatized as it is. However, I wouldn't take this as saying that your soulmate is a sex worker or has participated in sex work. They might have, I don't know. But I wouldn't take this card literally. And, I do kind of take issue with using the word in this context. But that's what this card is talking about. It's like not sacrificing who we are in order to have some sort of security, whether that's financial security or emotional security, when we can get those things without sacrificing anything. And then we have the perfection card here. And I would definitely say, yeah, I could see perfectionism being something that your soulmate has also had to learn how to overcome. I don't see them, because we had the impatience card that was talking about letting go of the need to control, like be so rigidly controlling all the time. And we also have the Eight of Pentacles, which is still about hard work and commitment and dedication, but it's in a balanced way. And with the student, it's about, learning, and that includes making mistakes, right? And so I think that this person has had to learn how to overcome perfectionistic tendencies in order to be able to do what this release card is talking about, which is forgiving themselves and other people. I think that the perfectionism card talks about having really high standards for ourselves and others that sometimes are so high that they cannot be met. And I think the release card's talking about forgiveness and letting go of our past traumas, the past mistakes that we've made, past mistakes that other people have made. And the release card also talks about letting go of issues caused by family of origin, which I would, that would be connected for me with the codependency that I was talking about, the people-pleasing kind of behavior. I think that this person has had to forgive whatever situation in their past caused that to be their coping mechanism, and forgive themselves for engaging in that behavior, which was ultimately damaging, I think, in the long run. However, they have healed from that. I would see that the perfection and release card saying that this person has managed to let go of their perfectionism and stopped expecting other people to be perfect too, and worked really hard on releasing all of that stuff so that it doesn't control them anymore. And then we have the mysticism card, and I would see this as another thing that this person has had to release is the fear of the unknown. there's things that we can't see. There's outcomes that we don't know what they're going to be, whether it's positive or negative. And I mean, we were talking about letting go of the outcome. And I think that's something that this person's really worked very hard on, is being in this place where they've accepted that they can't know how something is going to work out. They can only do what they can do in a situation. They're only responsible for the things that are their responsibility, and they're letting go of the need to control. And I'm seeing a lot of this stuff reflected in the tarot card stone at the bottom. We have the Ten of Swords, the Devil, the Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. So we have a little bit of air, some water energy, and then some earth energy with the Eight of Pentacles, and then the Devil card is associated with Capricorn. So your person could be a Capricorn, could have Capricorn in their chart, or any of the other signs that I mentioned. And with this Ten of Swords card, like that definitely confirms for me the message of the World card that I was seeing at the beginning of the reading about being at the end of a cycle. The Ten of Swords happens usually after we've hit some sort of rock bottom. We've come to the end of something. It was probably a painful ending, but we're letting go of it. We're learning how to release it. Like it says on the release card, we're letting go of the need to change the past or try to change the past. We've forgiven the people that we need to forgive. We've forgiven ourselves, and we've made peace with whatever happened here, and we're ready to move on. The figure on the card is walking towards the horizon. They've released all the birds, and the bird, again, another symbol of freedom, and they're moving into whatever the next cycle is. So I think this person has been through a lot, and they've learned how to release a lot. And with the Devil card here, some of that, again, it could be, the Devil talks about like attachments, which could include substance abuse, and it could include codependency, being unhealthily attached to somebody else or to somebody else's expectations. You can see on the card, the Devil is kind of has strings attached to kind of a ethereal figure. So it's kind of like the puppet master, and there's an attachment there. And that's why this card is associated with addiction and things like that. So that could be part of why this person developed codependent behaviors. Could be somebody in their family or somebody in their life who was important to them growing up, might have struggled with addiction, could have created a lot of unpredictability and chaos. And then your soulmate might have adapted to that by trying too hard to control their environment and ending up in a place where they felt very trapped. And that could be talking about, the Devil also carries a positive message about like the positive aspects of attachment, which can just be about, wanting to commit to something in a healthy way, like a marriage or buying a house or signing a contract, getting a new job, etc. And so when this card comes out like this, that's what I'm seeing, this as a confirmation that this person has maybe been through some unhealthy attachments in their life. It's also possible that they themselves could have struggled with substance abuse. And I think they've come out of it in a way where they've been able to release the things that they needed to release, as we're seeing on the Ten of Swords card, and they're ready to come towards a relationship in a healthy way. And so that's why I would also say if commitment, like a serious long-term relationship and marriage and formal contracts, buying a house together, if that's something that you would be interested in doing with your soulmate, they're very much on board for that. They're in a place where they're ready for a healthy commitment. And I'm seeing that reflected by the Two of Cups here. And the Two of Cups, first of all, it's a very sweet card. I love this card. It's two people holding hands, and they're both of the cups are full. So this is like an equal partnership where nobody's putting in more than the other person. They're both meeting each other halfway. And so this definitely tells me this person has healed what they needed to heal in order to be in a healthy relationship with somebody else, with you, presumably. And when they come towards you, when you come together, it's going to be beautiful. You'll be able to meet each other halfway and to both bring valuable, important things to the relationship, and it's not going to be an unhealthy attachment. This person seems like they have a lot of love to give. I'm loving the rainbow energy of this card and the Eight of Pentacles. I'm seeing a lot of vibrant colors. And I wanted to mention, when I was shuffling the cards for this, I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was singing to myself and doing silly little rhymes and just in like a very fun kind of vibrant place. I think that your soulmate probably has a very good sense of humor and might be a little bit goofy, a little bit fun loving like that. And with the Knight of Cups here, I'd say that this, your soulmate is probably very romantic and is probably interested in the romantic side of a relationship. And I don't mean that, I think they might try to like do the traditional romance things like bring you flowers and take you on beautiful dates and, have a picnic on the beach and all of that stuff. I think it's because they genuinely love that stuff. However, I don't, if that you're not into that, that's okay. Like you can always communicate that. I don't think this person would hold that stuff against you. And I also don't see it as like an unhealthy, like I need to buy your love or I need to constantly prove that I'm worthy of love. It's not in an imbalanced way. It's in it like I'm very much a romantic soul, and I like this is what I would imagine they would say. I love giving flowers because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to make you feel good. It's not because I need your approval, if that makes sense. So like I wouldn't worry about them doing anything like that insincerely, because we do have the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is an equal exchange of energy. And so I do think, if you do want to be wooed and courted and taken out and gifted with things and quality time, I definitely see that as something that this person is very interested in. And, and I would say, like, regardless of the level of romance in your relationship, this person is probably the kind of person who does believe in soulmates. You have that in common, I guess. And so do I. I believe in soulmates too. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be doing this. I just think that it's going to be a really beautiful connection. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which, again, I just love the rainbow energy here. And that is, I think, for me, echoing the idea of this person being like a lifelong student. Like they're always willing to learn. And that's why I thought, if you were somebody who is not romantic and you're not really interested in that side of a relationship, I think you could definitely communicate that to this person, and or if you love it, you can also communicate that to this person, or just let them know, what your level of comfort is with things, because they're always learning. They're so open to learning and growing and changing and developing skills. And this person's very hard worker, very committed. We're getting the commitment message twice with the Eight of Pentacles and the Devil card here. And with, honestly, with the amount of work this person has had to put in to heal all the stuff that they've been through. I think this person is very dedicated and devoted, and they're always open to new ideas. And they might have like some very creative date ideas too, which is exciting. Because we have the Knight of Cups next to the Eight of Pentacles. Lots of creative energy there. And then I'm going to talk about the new moon eclipse, which says expect powerful change, and the disseminating moon, which says take time to breathe out. And I think that this is just another confirmation about the amount of work this person has put in. I think they've made powerful change happen for themselves by doing all that, the stepping up into personal power that we were talking about in the last part of the reading. I think they've really managed to turn their life around. And I think that they've given themselves, we have the release card and then take time to breathe out. I think they've given themselves the self-compassion that maybe they never got from other people growing up. They were in that shadow victim energy, and they've really given themselves time to grow and heal and learn and be in that student mindset and, make the mistakes they needed to make and be kind to themselves. And so we do have the Knight of Cups here. However, I see this person as being very kind of grounded and methodical. So I don't know if they're going to be like rushing towards you. However, they could come towards you fairly soon, because it does seem like they're at the end of this cycle here. They're ready for an equal, balanced relationship, and they're looking for romance. So that's what I have for your soulmate's personality in this part of the reading. And now we're going to move on to just some more information about your soulmate, and that could be additional personality traits, information about their current status, maybe some more information about their career, and then we're going to look at some other traits which could again, be more personality traits and maybe some physical attributes or information about their zodiac sign. So with that said, let's get into the next part of your reading. Okay, pile 3, we have some more information about your soulmate here, and I want to say these are beautiful cards, and it's a beautiful energy, and I'm seeing a lot of confirmations for the things that we have seen so far. So the first card we have here is Hedonist, and the light attributes for this card are inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. And I could see this being related to the Joy card, because I think this person has really worked hard on cultivating joy. I think that they've worked hard on taking the time to celebrate the things in your life. And I think that might be part of why they are a romantic, because they love the little things, the little gestures, the beautiful moments in life, the simple things. And, there's nothing wrong with enjoying life's pleasures. And I would say this might be an additional message that this person is an earth sign or has a lot of earth in their chart, because it is connected with the physical world and physical pleasures. And it also reminds me that part of the message of the Devil card, which we saw in the last part of the reading, is about physical pleasure. It's about attachments. It also speaks about physical pleasures and taking the time to enjoy the pleasures of life, which I think this person does make that a priority. To have fun, take joy from the little moments, and really put effort into enjoying themselves. And they're also a very hard worker, which I'm seeing reflected in this hero/heroine card, which says passion for a journey of self-empowerment. And that's 1,000% what I was seeing in all of the whole reading. And additionally, like in the lessons that they've learned from their past, when I mentioned stepping into personal power, I think this is one of this person's core life lessons. And this being a continual journey is reflected in the Student card and the Eight of Pentacles card. Like, this person is always working on themselves. We have the Growth card here. They're always growing and changing and learning and working on themselves. And this, I would also wanted to mention, this card has people climbing a mountain. And so it just reminds me, because I think the Capricorn is represented by, if I'm not mistaken, a mountain goat. So I'm getting the sense that even if this person is not a Capricorn, they just have that sort of energy of hard work, detail-oriented, ambitious, and really enjoying the hero's journey. And then we have the Beggar card, which confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival and awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. And I would see those 3 things as being very important to your soulmate. Humility, accepting that we're not perfect. Compassion, accepting that other people are not perfect. And self-esteem, loving ourselves and other people regardless. I think that's very important to your soulmate and their worldview. And then I'm going to address the Facade card. So I think this is definitely related to when I was talking about the Knight of Pentacles and Chariot transformation. I think that this person realized that they had been wearing a facade or like a mask, that this card carries a message of, this is not who I am. And I think that this person recognized that. And on the card you can see there's a man walking with his inner child. And I think this person realized they weren't living their truth, and they've done the work to kind of heal their relationship with their inner child, with their authentic self, because they are good enough, as we're seeing in the Full Moon and Virgo card, more earth sign energy. They've really worked on self-esteem, healing their relationship with their inner child, accepting themselves for who they are, forgiving themselves for whatever happened in the past, and healing their heart space. I would say that, this card is green. It's about the heart chakra. And then we also have the Growth card, which is also related to the heart chakra. And the Growth card echoes that message of living your truth, achieving personal growth through accepting who you are and sharing your genuine self with other people in the world, and standing in that power and being courageous about it. And that also helps other people grow as well. And then we have nothing is yet set in stone with the mutable moon. And I'm pretty sure Virgo is also a mutable sign. So this person could be adaptable. Like, I think that they might have started in a place of rigidity and a lot of rules and like very enforced structure because that was how they felt safe. And I think they've managed to break out of that and get to a place where they can rely on their faith and have faith in themselves and have faith in the universe, that they can let go of the need to control the outcome. I think that this is what this card is related to, because nothing is yet set in stone. We can't say one way or the other how something is going to turn out. We can only control what we can control. We can take responsibility for the things that are our responsibility. We can do our work with the Eight of Pentacles. We don't need to be a perfectionist about it because we can't control everything, and certain outcomes will happen however they happen. And I think this person has really worked on letting go of that need to control. And as I said, they've really worked on cultivating joy. And with this card, I could also say there is a chance that flowers, and particularly, I think these are daisies. They could be sunflowers, but I think they're daisies. Might be a symbol for you when this person is near. It could be like a significant flower. Maybe they will give you daisies early on in your relationship. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there. Either way, I think this person, and I was picking up on that kind of like that fun-loving kind of goofy, silly energy, very playful. As I was shuffling the cards, I was definitely like, I was singing to myself and making up silly rhymes and chatting with my spirit guide. Like I was, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. I think I might have been picking up a little bit on this person's joy, like just taking joy in whatever you're doing. And then we have at the tarot cards at the bottom. First of all, we've had a lot of major arcana for this person. So I think it is, a significant message that this person has really managed to really change themselves in a significant way just by accepting, just through, like strictly through acceptance of who they are as a person and their own power to change their circumstances. And they have changed it a lot, because we have the Death card here, and the Death card talks about transformation, transforming ourselves so that we can move from one stage of our life into the next stage of our life. And this card, like I would associate it with the butterfly, goes into the cocoon, it's like goo for a little bit, and then it comes out as a butterfly. So it goes in on one stage, takes the time to recreate itself, and then blossoms into a butterfly. That's what your soulmate has managed to do. And with the Six of Cups, I'm seeing that, this person might not have a great relationship with their family or their family of origin, might have had to cut ties with those people, or they might have managed to heal that relationship. If they managed to heal themselves, they might have managed to come back and heal that relationship. I can't say what the exact circumstances are, but with this card, I'm getting a message that at the very least, especially with the Facade card here, this person has put work into healing their inner child and reparenting themselves, giving themselves the love and like the unconditional love and attention they might not have received when they were young. And I see that as something that is very important to this person. And I think if you ever end up having children with this person, I think it's going to be very important to them that they raise their children in a way that is unconditionally loving. I think that could be one of their top priorities. And then we have the World card again. And that's like, again, extra confirmation. This person's really done the work here. We had the Ten of Swords, we have the Death card, we've had the World card twice. This person has worked very hard to end a past cycle and start over again somewhere new. And this card could also talk about travel. We've had this person on the beach, and then we also had the Knight of Cups on the beach in the previous part of the reading. So you could meet while you are at the beach or on a beach vacation or just traveling around somewhere, if that is something that you were interested in doing. It could also be, both cards, someone's having a picnic. So picnics could also be relevant to this connection. And then we have the Five of Wands. And I think the Five of Wands is maybe related to this hero/heroine energy, the student energy, the Chariot energy, and maybe the Strength card. because the Five of Wands can talk about competition, like healthy competition. It can talk about like competing in, like this could be a clue. Maybe this person competes in team sports. Maybe they're really athletic, like competitive sports. That might be something that they really enjoy. That might be how you meet this person. Or it could be have a message of using the example of other people in order to galvanize ourselves and inspire ourselves to achieve our own personal best. However, it is a healthy energy when this card is upright. Like it's in a balanced way. It's not in a perfectionistic way where we absolutely have to be the best ever. I think it's more just like challenging ourselves in an environment where we may be competing with other people. And then lastly, we have Temperance, another major arcana. Before I forget, I want to say, in terms of zodiac signs, we do have Virgo and Scorpio associated with the Death card, and then Temperance is associated with Sagittarius, and there might be something else here that I'm forgetting, but that's what I'm seeing. And then we have some Cups energy, which is the water, and the Wands, which is fire. So really, I'm seeing any sign. I am seeing a lot of Earth energy, but it could, your person could be any sign. I'm not seeing anything like a really predominant amount of any kind of zodiac sign here. So the Temperance card can talk about trying to balance different things, trying to find a balance here. And I think that this is, again, something that your soulmate has worked very hard to cultivate. I think that they've worked really hard not to be in any kind of extreme. Because extremes of thought and behavior can be associated with the unhealthy aspects of the Devil card, with attachments, addictions, codependency, and being in that shadow victim energy where we're not taking charge of our lives. It can be when we're letting other things control us instead of taking the time to figure out what works best for us, because there's also kind of a trial and error energy with the Temperance card. We're trying to figure out what type of lifestyle, what type of goal setting, what type of energy, how we live our life, a way of living our life that's going to work out the best for us. And that might not be what other people expect us to do, and it might not be how we were raised, but it is about taking ownership of finding a balance that works best for the individual. And that's going to help you be in that Two of Cups where both sides are equal and balanced. So I'm seeing definitely a lot of positive energy here with your soulmate. And so for the final part of your reading today, pile 3, I am going to throw some pieces of paper onto your cards here and then roll some dice. And the first time I did this, I knocked over my lamp, so I'm going to be careful, and then I'll fix everything up nicely and we can talk about it. So just give me 1 sec. Okay, pile 3, here we have some extra information about your soulmate, and there might be some conflicting information, so just, take whatever resonates or, whichever things you would like the most, and leave the rest. And so we have braids, buns, and ponytails. So it could be, and we also have long hair. So this person could have long hair that they put in a braid, a bun, or a ponytail. Maybe they tie their hair back. If this person's capable of growing facial hair, they may have facial hair or a beard. This person might be muscular. And I'm also seeing sports and athletic. So that might be echoing the message of the Five of Wands card. Maybe they play sports, and maybe they're Eight of Pentacles, but something that they're working on is their physical strength. And we did have the Strength card, so that's usually not talking about physical strength, but it could. Maybe this person's very into fitness and working out, or maybe they just love to hike or do outdoor activities. Either way, they probably take good care of their body. They have a great sense of humor. I was picking that up. This person is family-oriented, spiritual, geeky, and ambitious. Definitely can see all of those reflected in your reading today. And, and the geeky might be referring also to their love of learning. And so we have summer, that might be their favorite month, or it might be the month that they're born in, or sorry, season, or it could mean that that is when you are going to meet this person. We also have air, so they might have a lot of air in their chart or be an air sign. We have vegan and vegetarian, so that could be something. This person loves animals, so it could be that they might be vegan or vegetarian for like moral reasons, or just, you know, maybe they just not into eating meat, and that's cool too. And then we have some signs for you. We have Aries, Cancer, Libra, Aquarius, and Pisces. And I was a little surprised not to see any earth signs, because if I was getting, you know, one element above any of the others, it was earth. But that's okay. You know, this person could be any sign. I was also, you know, not getting a strong reading. So that could also be different signs in their chart, or it could be, if you are one of these signs, could be confirmation that this is your person. And we also have small family, close-knit family, and estranged family. And I was picking up from the cards that this person might be estranged from some of their family members. However, they might have other members of their family that they are close to, or it could be saying that either they come from a small family or they only want to have a small family. And it could be that they're interested in having a very close-knit family, maybe because of the fact that they are estranged from some of their other family members. So again, only take what resonates there. And then I rolled a 5, a 6, and an 8. And that means that it could be related to the month of May, the month of June, or the month of August. Or it could be related to this person, or you could be a Leo, a Virgo, or a Scorpio. We did have all 3 of those energies come up in the cards. And these numbers could also just be important numbers to your relationship, and they could be maybe the day of the month when you meet this person. So again, only take what resonates. I hope you enjoyed your reading today, pile 3. Again, I'm sorry about my cat being angry. I promise I'm going to go feed him right after this. And I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like, because that would really help me out. Keep your eyes peeled, because I will be posting a video right after this one, which is going to be about your relationship with your soulmate. So feel free to subscribe if you would like to see that video. And please leave me a comment down below. Let me know how this resonated for you, and if you have any ideas for future videos, I would love to hear them. And with all of that said, thank you very much for watching pile 3, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Hello, pile 4, and welcome to your reading. I am very excited for today's reading, and today we're going to find out about your soulmate. So the first spread of cards that I have here is going to be about your soulmate's past. And this can be like past significant experiences or things that they've had to go through that have helped mold them into the person that they are today. And then in the next part of the reading, we're going to go over their personality, and then we're going to do a third spread just to look at any extra little bits of information that we can pick up about your soulmate. So with that said, let's get started. So we have the 6 of Swords here as your first card. I just want to say, like at the top of the reading, and only take this if it resonates. It's not going to be true for everybody, but I am getting a bit of like a queer energy here. Your soulmate might be a member of the queer community. They might be a trans man. I'm seeing that specifically with the 6 of Swords and the Emperor here, and then the 9 of Swords and the Hierophant. I'm getting a lot of indications here that your soulmate might be somebody who has struggled with their sexuality or gender identity, and has specifically struggled because of something in their life that has gone against tradition in some way, or gone against maybe what was expected of them. It has led to despondence, and they've had to confront the ways in which they've been victimized. And so, as I said, like the message that your soulmate might be a member of the LGBT community is, you know, that'll only resonate for you, you know, if it resonates for you. So, you know, if that's not for you, don't take it. But that's one possible interpretation of the cards that I'm seeing here. And specifically, I mentioned a trans man because 6 of Swords talks about transitions, and the Emperor card, which is right next to it, talks about the divine masculine. And so that might just be like a way for spirit to convey the literal message: this person has transitioned and they are a man. So With that said, let's move into the cards. So, as I said, the Six of Swords does talk about transitions, and usually it's talking about transitioning from one phase of our life into a different phase of our life. And it's usually after like a really tough cycle, because the card right before this card is the Five of Swords, and that's a card about conflict. It's about sacrificing too much. Talks about our own destructive behaviors and the destructive behaviors and energies of other people in our lives. So the Five of Swords, very tough. Six of Swords is when we're getting away from that energy. We're taking whatever lessons we can learn from it, and we're letting go of whatever negative emotions we had about it so that we can start over in the next phase or cycle of our life. And then we have this card being clarified by the Emperor. And what I think is interesting is both the Emperor card here and the Hierophant both talk about like rules and structure. However, the Emperor card, it's when we create our own rules and structure. It's when we're, an emperor is the leader. They decide how things are going to go and what the plan is, and they create their own stability for themselves. Whereas the Hierophant that's usually talking about tradition, like the rules and structure that the Hierophant would be talking about would be things that we've done a certain way for generations, or that's just the way our family is, or we do it this way because that's how our society does it, and that that's not necessarily a negative thing. However, I think that it has had a negative impact on this person's life because the Hierophant is clarifying the Nine of Swords, and that's how I pulled it out of the deck, because I pulled the first four cards. I actually pulled out the Two of Wands before the Nine of Swords, and then I kept asking for a fifth card, and I kept, the Nine of Swords came out immediately, and so I was thinking, oh, maybe your soulmate. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around a lot. I just don't want to forget to say anything. The Nine of Swords maybe your soulmate has struggled a lot with anxiety or depression. Maybe that's something that they've had to overcome. They might have had a lot of like serious mental health issues, which, I could understand if they were in a place where, because this card's being clarified by the Hierophant, and that's how I asked for it. Like I specifically, when the fifth card wasn't coming out, I started asking specifically for a clarifier for the Nine of Swords. Why is the Nine of Swords here? And the Nine of Swords is here because of the Hierophant. And so, we could interpret it as the Hierophant was a way to get out of the Nine of Swords, but that's not the question I asked. And so I'm seeing it as the Hierophant, I think, was causing this anxiety and depression that we were seeing in the Nine of Swords. This despondence, this victimhood was being caused by the system or the institution or the tradition or the family rules or whatever it was in this person's life that wasn't created by them. And they had to get to a place where they were able to transition out of that and create their own rules and structure and become their own emperor, step into their own emperor energy. And the Despondence card, when I read the guidebook about this card, I literally said yes out loud because it made so much sense to me. This card talks about the way out of despondence is by taking action, which I can absolutely see. We've got the way out, the transition from one phase to the next on the Six of Swords card by taking action. The Emperor is somebody who takes action. They're the divine masculine. They're taking whatever actions they need to take. They have a plan. They have control over their environment, and they're standing in their power. So they're able to make things happen for themselves, and they're going to do that. It's not just able. It's I'm going to do that. That's what I'm doing. It's a very kind of like self-sufficient energy, and so I think that is, as I said, how this person has managed to get out. And I know that the cards are arranged like this kind of. I usually read them from left to right. However, I'm seeing here, I think that they might be like swapped around. Like I think this person spent a lot of time in that Nine of Swords energy, and it took them a while to realize that the way to get out of that was they had to choose to move into the next phase by taking control of their life, because the Hierophant was never going to give up control of them. And it's not necessarily in a bad way. We do have the victim card here, so I think there was somebody here who was victimizing your soulmate in some way. However, the Hierophant card is not a negative card. It's in itself is neutral, right? It's the context that I'm reading it in it's the shadow aspects of the Hierophant. It's the negative side of the Hierophant. It's old structures and rules that are creating anxiety and despair instead of a sense of stability and structure and family and love and joy and tradition and all the wonderful things that the Hierophant can represent. This is representing the other side of that, an oppressive system. And I think that your soulmate, this card came out, it has a key. The bird on this card has a key. And I think that your soulmate had to take that key. Or here's another interpretation that just jumped into my head. The Hierophant might not have ever been willing to give up the key. And it could have been that your soulmate realized they couldn't take that key away from the Hierophant. And so they made their own key. They figured it out on their own. And I'm also getting that being repeated because of the light attribute of the detective, which says, great powers of observation and intuition and a desire to seek out the truth. I think that your soulmate is very intelligent, and they're not only intelligent in like the traditional sense of the word, I think they're also very emotionally intelligent. And I really think that your soulmate like figured out, I'm never going to be able to wrestle power away from whatever this system or structure is that's causing me so much grief. So instead, I'm going to make my own, or I'm going to step into my own personal power. I'm going to create my own power here simply by letting go of this negativity and the destructive behavior of other people, other destructive forces in my life, my own destructive behavior. I'm going to let go of it. And I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take action to become my own emperor. And what's also interesting is there's a message with the victim card about, there's a warning, I should say, with this card about not denying the truth of what happened. So that could also have been something that was keeping this person in their Nine of Swords. Because as I said, I'm getting the sense they were there for a while. That card is just really kind of sticking out to me. Like, this has been a big part of this person's life. And I think that they had to really face what was actually happening with whoever the Hierophant is in their life. It can represent a person or a system or an institution. They really had to kind of start to see things clearly, admit to themselves that they had been a victim in some way. And then by doing that, they were able to work on releasing and letting go of whatever happened. Because if we are denying to everybody around us and to ourselves that we've been the victim of something, how can we begin to heal from what happened? How can we, it breeds resentment instead of letting us, giving us the opportunity to work on forgiveness. And, I say this a lot, I'm going to say it again. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's not giving them a pass on whatever things that they've done. It's not about saying like what you did to me was okay and I forgive you. It's about being able to let go of it, because holding on to the resentment is hurting me. And I think your soulmate has had to learn all of that stuff. And they've done a great job of it, because they are a detective. They have both aspects of it. They're like, it's not just, what's coming into my mind is, it's not just Sherlock Holmes. It's the combination of Sherlock Holmes and John Watson. It's like they have both, and that makes them very insightful and very perceptive. And I think it's this detective's mind. Oh, I also want to say, this person could be literally a detective. It could be that they work in law enforcement, although I'm not 100% getting that vibe. Strictly because, I would see the law enforcement as part of the system, and we have, this Hierophant's caused a lot of grief for this person. However, they could be, but I think it would be more likely that they're just using their mind in some way and their intuitive abilities in some way to help seek the truth about something. I think that that might be like a part of this person's life's purpose is to divine the truth using a combination of their intelligence and their intuitive abilities and their ability to read people and read situations emotionally through body language and through their connection to spirit. And so I'm going to talk about the Two of Wands card. I do want to point out it is rainbow colored. There's also a rainbow on the Six of Swords. So again, only take that if it applies. And the two of Wands tells me that your person has moved into a place where they're excited for the next part of their life. They've gone through the hard stuff here, all this hard swords energy here. They've embraced their own inner power. They've accepted that they are this emperor, again, regardless of gender. Any person can embody their divine masculine side. They've accepted what happened in the past when they had been victimized in some way. They've accepted it. They've worked on it, worked through it, gotten to a place where they might be like getting to a place where they're okay with the idea of forgiveness. They've realized that the only way out of the despondence is by taking action. So they're in an action-oriented phase with this Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands talks about wanting to find like the potential of that is out there for you. So it can talk about like wanting to go on an adventure, wanting to go traveling, wanting to try new things, wanting to do new activities, go new places, try new restaurants, whatever applies. I think this person is in a place where they're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm fully ready to go and see what is out there for me and figure out what works for me and what doesn't. And I'm excited and feeling inspired for this next part of my life. So I'm definitely seeing exciting things for your soulmate here. I think that they've been through a lot, and I think they've managed to come out the other side with like a bright, positive attitude. When I was shuffling your cards, I was getting the sense of somebody who is like what's the word? It's like a vibrant energy. It's a kind of intense, not necessarily like bright as in like sunshine and daisies, although that could be part of it. It's like they have a sharp mind and a positive attitude. That's kind of what I'm getting. So with that said, let's move into the next part of your reading, which is going to be about your soulmate's personality. Okay, pile 4. So here we have some additional information about your soulmate and their personality. This was intended to be about their personality. However, I am getting a lot of confirmations here about, things that have happened in their past and kind of where they're at right now, in terms of like their soul journey and finding their purpose and things like that. My spirit guides, your spirit guides, they always blow me away because the cards that I pulled are just so on point. We have for your person's personality, we have these 3 archetype cards up at the top, and that echoes a lot of what I was talking about in the first part of the reading. And I'm going to start with the Rebel card because I think it is the most related to what I was saying. And this card talks about challenging authority to affect social change and rejecting spiritual systems that don't serve inner needs. And so with this card being here, and specifically with mentioning the word spiritual, it could be that your soulmate had an issue with some sort of a religious institution, and maybe that was what was causing them to be in that Nine of Swords energy. It could be maybe they were a part of a religion where they were being oppressed or victimized in some way, and that could just be again, like maybe they had a different belief system. There can be a bit of a crossover sometimes between religion and political beliefs. Maybe they had different political beliefs. Maybe they have different views on morality and ethics that maybe the religious institution did not share. I'm not going to go into specifics because, again, as I said with the Hierophant card, there's pros and cons, positive and negatives of every institution, and so I don't want to single anything out. But, that could have been something that this person really struggled with was the need to stand up for their beliefs against a system where those beliefs were not understood or supported. And it could have been, especially with the soulmate card here, there could have been something innate to this person that they were not able to be themselves. And so they had to rebel, and they embraced their inner rebel in order to affect the social changes that they feel needed to happen in order for them to be themselves. And for other people who might be in the same situation that they were in to also be able to be themselves. Because we also have the rescuer card here, and we have the prince card. And the rescuer card, it has a rescuer type of energy to it, wanting to help other people. And the prince card can talk about leadership, and the emperor is a leadership energy, and so is the prince. And so I think it's not only true that this person had to step up for themselves. I think they've also stepped up for other people, and they might have become like a leader in their community, standing up for what they believe in. And with the rescuer card, it says, provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. And so I think that your soulmate is very altruistic. I think whatever they might volunteer their time, or I think whatever they do for work, I think they do it out of love and a genuine desire to help other people. They're not doing it to get recognition. I think they might have stepped into a leadership energy because there was nobody else who was doing it, and I think they kind of embraced the mantle because they needed to, they needed to be that prince in this situation in order to make things happen. And I also want to throw in, there was a connection to law enforcement with the detective card. However, I wasn't necessarily seeing your person being a member of law enforcement. They might be, or they could be in a career that's like adjacent. They might be like an EMT or a firefighter and have some job that's related to like the rescuing part, like search and rescue. They might have that type of job. Or it says it's helping people in crisis. So they could also be like a counselor, or they might volunteer. And either way, they are doing it for altruistic reasons because they have a genuine desire to help, and because they have a genuine desire to help other people who might have been in the same position that they were once in. And or we also have the creation card, and this card can talk about somebody who engages in artistic endeavors. So this person could be an artist. That could be a hobby, something that they take great joy in, making creative works. This card also talks about being in touch with our divine feminine side. And so I think this person is very balanced between feminine and masculine energies, because we had the masculine with the Emperor card, and now we have the feminine with the Creation card, and we have like a mix of gendered energies here. We have the Emperor, and then we have a Prince, and then we have the Queen, and then all the figures on these cards down here, I would say, are female. And so, I think this person has embraced fully who they are. And they're not in like a toxic masculine or a toxic feminine energy. They're very balanced. And so I want to talk about the soulmate card. I will say you are the only pile who got the soulmate card. And so I would take this just as initially, like on, at face value, that this is confirmation. This person is your soulmate. I think this might also be an indication that your soulmate is looking for you. That was an idea that popped into my head as soon as I saw the tarot cards, and it's being confirmed for me with the soulmate card and with the star and the Four of Cups, and your commitment is being tested. They could apply to other things, but I could also see them applying. Maybe your soulmate's been looking for you for a while, and so it seems like they're in a place where they're ready for the two of you to come together. And I can't speak for you and your level of readiness here, but that was an energy that I was getting. And the soulmate card also just talks about embracing who we are, speaking our truth, being authentic. And there's a phrase in the guidebook that I thought was I read it and I was like, yes, like again, like this is fully describing what I'm seeing with the other cards here, and it is freedom through transition. So gaining freedom by transitioning in some way. And I want to point out we did have the Six of Swords. And so we have like that transition energy. And then we also have the completion card. We have the full moon in Capricorn, which says the end of a tough cycle approaches. We have the Nine of Swords, 9 very close to the 10, which is about letting go and releasing something. We have the Two of Wands, I'm getting ready to go on an adventure and start something new. So there's definitely a lot of energy here. This person has transitioned out of a negative phase in their life, the end of a tough cycle. They're in a transitioning out of that and into who they fully, truly are, speaking their truth, speaking up for themselves and for other people, rebelling against whatever system had been victimizing them, being the rescuer for other people that they did not have for themselves, and embracing their inner leader. And by doing all of that stuff, they're attracting you to them. They're helping attract you into their life, if that makes sense. Like they're by embracing their truth and working through all of this stuff, and putting out into the world who they are authentically, that's going to help bring the two of you together. And the completion card's a pretty straightforward message here for me too, because it's related to that. It's related to the end of this tough cycle, transitioning into something new. When I was talking about this person needing to make peace with what had happened, so that they could work on forgiveness and letting go, that is talked about in this completion card, because in order to move on to the next cycle, we need to be able to let go of the previous cycle. And I'm seeing this person is either at or near completing that cycle and fully embracing the new cycle. So I'm going to talk about the tarot cards. And we have the Queen of Swords here. And the Queen of Swords would be like the intellectual part of the detective card. Just very intelligent, very clear thinker, very perceptive. Actually, I mean, it might be a full embodiment of the detective card. She's very good at reading people. She can see things very clearly. And the truth-seeking message we were getting from the detective card would be reflected in this Queen of Swords energy. This could also be an indication that your soulmate is an air sign. We are getting some Aquarius with the Star card, and there's a lot of swords. There's been a lot of swords so far, so that could be an air sign. I also, before I forget, there's also a Capricorn here, and we have some water energy and some fire energy with the wands. And then we also had the Emperor, which I think is associated with Aries, and the Hierophant, which is associated with Taurus. So, just take that however it resonates. Person could be an air sign, could have a lot of air in their chart, or could just have embraced the personality traits associated with the Queen of Swords card. They're thinking very clearly. They have a clear sense of purpose, highly intelligent, great communicator. And this person on this card, the Queen on this card, seems very much at peace. That she's the kind of queen who's just kind of surveying her domain. I don't have anything to worry about, and I'm still going to keep a watchful eye just in case. And I was getting kind of a wait and see kind of energy from this person. Then we have the Two of Wands card and the Nine of Swords card again. So I would take this as just confirmation that, this is part of what this person has been through. With the Nine of Swords specifically, this has been a big part of this person's life. They might still struggle with anxiety or depressive symptoms. It could be that they just have a chemical imbalance in their brain, and that's just something that they might always struggle with. And they might be taking medication, going to therapy, whatever they need to do to take care of themselves. But that it could just be a confirmation that this is something that this person has struggled with, has been their mental health. And then, the Two of Wands is, again, it's just confirmation for me that this person is in a place where they're getting ready to go and seek adventure and see what's out there in the world. They're not going to sit in their orange room forever. They're going to move out and head out towards the sunset, get in their little van there, travel the globe, see what's out there. And I would take that as, this is where this person currently is. Because I want to say these cards are in no particular order. And then we have the Four of Cups, and it's it is right under the your commitment is being tested card, and then it is beside the star. So I would see these two cards as being connected, or these three cards as being connected, especially because there's similar colors on the your commitment is being tested to the star card. Both of those colors I would associate with the third eye. This person might be spiritual and connected to their spirituality, especially because the star card talks about faith and having hope for the future. I think this person might have gone through a period where they had gotten out of their Nine of Swords energy, or they had gotten out of whatever situation they were in, embraced their truth, stepped into their leadership energy. They found a position or a job or some volunteer position maybe that is very fulfilling for them because they get to help other people. They're they're expressing themselves creatively. They're letting go of the past and ready to move on to a new cycle, feeling excited about it. And they might still be struggling with anxiety or dark thoughts sometimes, and that could be leading to this Four of Cups, which talks about disillusionment, boredom, not being satisfied with what we have. And it could be this person, your commitment is being tested, could be that this person might be at a place or might have recently gone through a place where they were like, I put all this work in, I've done so much, I've changed so much, why am I not getting the things out of it that I wanted? Like, why am I still not feeling totally fulfilled? It could also be, where is my soulmate? We do have the soulmate card here. I'm putting everything out there and doing everything I need to do. So where's my Ten of Cups? Like, where's my Ten of Cups? And I think this person has had to refocus and work on cultivating their hope and faith with the Star card. I think that they've had to consciously shift their perspective away from the things that they don't have yet and refocus on having hope for the future and on the positive things that they do have and that they have managed to do. And that's why I'm saying I think this Four of Cups might be a recent energy, but I think it's something they're moving away from. I think they're embracing the star, that hopeful, positive energy. The star, whether it's reversed or not, it carries a positive message about, there's someone sitting, like, looking up to the stars, and giving her hopes and dreams to the universe, knowing that she's being divinely guided. So I think this person's commitment has been tested in some way, and they've come out of it having held on to their hope for the future. And I see that because the Two of Wands, for me here, is representing this person's current energy. They're like, okay, I don't have everything I want yet. I have much more than I used to have. I'm grateful for what I do have, and I'm ready to move forward and co-create with the universe by going out and doing things, trying new things, going places, traveling, having fun experiences. And with that said, let's move on to the next part of the reading, and that's going to be a spread very similar to this one. That's just going to give us, again, just some extra information, maybe information about their personality, maybe their status, career information, whatever else we can get from the cards. And then we'll do some additional traits and some zodiac signs at the end. So let's get into the next part of your reading. Okay, pile 4. So here we have the final part of your reading. And I want to say these cards also, like, Spirit just keeps blowing me away, because it's like these cards are also so very much on point with the things that I was talking about in the last part of the reading. And I know I was kind of unsure in the last part. I know that your soulmate was like nearing the end of a cycle or had just ended a cycle. I wasn't quite sure where they were in that process. These cards are telling me they're at the beginning of a new cycle. They've worked through it. They're like fully done. They've accepted what they've needed to accept, changed whatever perspectives they needed to change, and they're in a very positive energy where they are moving forward into the next cycle here. And so I'm going to start at the top with these 3 archetype cards again. With the networker card and the father card, that confirms for me that this person is probably in a leadership position, no matter what they're doing, because, that's the paternal energy of the Father card is about. It talks about being like a guiding light in a tribal unit. So I think this would be connected to the Emperor card and the Prince card. And I think it's because it's a father type energy. I think this person probably feels pretty protective of whoever they're helping. And I mean, there's a connection also to the Rescuer card. I think that this person feels a sense of needing to support and love and protect other people, maybe in a way that they might not have experienced themselves. And with the Networker card, that tells me this person is probably very good with people, and it is also like a leadership energy to be out networking, and creating those connections is like a very action orienting, it's again like an emperor divine masculine type of thing, where I think this person had to create their own network because it might not have existed before. Like that's the energy I'm getting from this person. They created something here because to fill a void. And this person's probably very good with people. We were seeing that also with the Queen of Swords. Probably a great communicator. And probably enjoys working with other people. And this card could also, I was also getting an energy that maybe this person might also be, like a leader of something, but they might also hold some sort of political office, whatever that might mean. I was just with that, specifically with the Networker card that was coming to me. They might be involved in politics in some way. Or if not like specifically politics, then some sort of advocacy maybe. And what's great about these cards is we have the Child Magical card. And this one says, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. And I would see this being connected with the Star card in the last part of the reading, having hope and faith that things can and will happen. I would see this being connected with the Two of Wands that kept popping up. Just being in a positive headspace that the things that are meant for us are out there and they will come towards us. And it's just a very positive energy for somebody with a rescuer archetype, a detective archetype, a father archetype, to believe that everything is possible. I think this person is working towards some sort of social change in whatever capacity that is, because they genuinely believe that they can affect change and that it's worth doing. Anything and everything is possible when we take action towards making it happen. And when we approach such things with love, an open heart, and the desire to give back, it's a very altruistic energy, and I'm seeing that being reflected in the new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. I think that the way that this person has been able to heal a lot of the things that have happened to them has been by giving back to other people. And so I'm going to start with the Enlightenment card for the Chakra cards. This card is almost a direct echo of the next card, which says work through your fears. Because this card's talking about the way to reach enlightenment and inner peace and all those good things is by working through our fears. And I would see that this is something that this person has definitely been working on. I think that's part of the reason the completion card was here in the previous part of the reading. I think that's something they're really working on letting go of, and this might be something that they're moving with into the next cycle, because we did see a reappearance of the Nine of Swords. It could be that the fears keep popping up. No matter how much work we do and healing we do and shadow work we do and how much therapy and group therapy and spiritual work and whatever we do in order to try to heal ourselves and work through our fears, they can always keep popping up, and we did have the card of your commitment is being tested. So I think that this person might have like resurgences, or I don't know how to say, it might not be as traumatic as being triggered or like having a PTSD response to something. It could be It might not quite be on that scale, but it's something like that. Like, I think they might get tripped up a little bit sometimes by something that's related to their past, something that's related to their fears, and that might be something that they are going to bring with them into the next phase as something that they're working on. They're working through their fears. And it's a new moon card, right? Both these cards are new moons. There's the new moon in Virgo and the new moon in Scorpio. And so I would see this as what they're working on moving into this next phase. So I think they've worked on letting go of the grief and pain and blame of what happened to them in the past. And now I think they're working on whatever their fears are. That might be, related to that situation, or fears for the future. It could just be like fear of the unknown. There might be fears related to if this person is more of a public figure or a community leader or the head of an organization or in a leadership position in some way. There's fears that come along with that too. If somebody is a groundbreaker, is creating something new, I could see how that would be to come with a lot of fears, like very scary, like nerve-wracking, anxiety-producing. 100% I could understand that. So I think that this might be something this person is still working on. They are working on it with the Enlightenment card. I think that's kind of maybe their current lesson. And then with the Bittersweet card, this card can talk about just the bittersweet nature of moving through a transition and, having to let go of the old thing in order to embrace the new thing, which is what they've done, because that's the message of the renewal card, is we've let go of the old thing, and now we are renewed. We've been reborn. We are at the new cycle. We've started something new. And I think this person has also had to embrace the positive and the negative sides of letting go of something in order to keep moving forward. And I think something that's helped them has been being able to focus on giving back. I think a time to give rather than take is integral. It's like a core value of something that is extremely important to your soulmate. And I want to say, it just occurred to me, a time to give rather than it almost sounds like that. I think it's a Bible verse. It's maybe something connected to the Bible, or is it a song or a hymn? It could be any. Or I thought it had religious undertones, where it's like there's a season for every, or a purpose for every season. Or it's reminding me of I'm sure the people who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. It's reminding me of some sort of religious verse. And that could be if whatever trauma happened in this person's life was related to a religious institution, and we did have the renewal of a faith, maybe with the Star card, this person might have found their way towards a spiritual faith, or maybe embracing a different aspect of that religion, or embracing the pure ideology of it rather than the religious structure of it. They might have found their way back to a place where they can take what they need from it and leave the rest, if that makes sense. So with the tarot cards, we have the Six of Swords again. I can't make this stuff up. The card that came out, I was like, of course, it's the six. It's so much about what your soulmate has been through in their life, has been about this major transition, this major shift, like away from something that was causing so much pain and grief and fear and sadness, towards something where they could embrace who they truly, authentically are and share that with other people, help other people, and give back and create something new. Maybe create something where they're able to help other people the way that they were not helped. They were able to rescue other people in a way that nobody ever came to rescue them. And that's because they believe that anything is possible. They believe in sharing their own good intentions and doing things out of their own good intentions, not because somebody is telling them to, but because it's the right thing to do. So I wanted to reiterate that the way these cards are, I'm seeing, as I said, I'm seeing this person they're at the other side of this transition, and because we have the Fool card here too, and the Fool is the first card in the tarot deck, and it talks about starting a new journey. I'm starting over. I'm in renewal. I'm starting over with a clean slate. I've let go of what I needed to let go of. I've healed what I needed to heal, and I'm entering a new phase. I'm setting off on a new journey, and there is a very sort of carefree, light, unburdened energy to it. And I think that's also related to the Four of Wands here. And the Four of Wands is, it's about like celebrating a success or a milestone or an achievement. And I think that this person has managed to get out of that Four of Cups that we had in the last part of the reading and shift their perspective. So they're celebrating the things that they have accomplished. And I think that's contributing to the excitement of their Two of Wands, of saying, okay, where can I go next? Where am I going with this? So I'm excited about the future, and I want to try new things and figure out what my purpose is here. And I'm seeing that also being reflected in the Page of Swords. I mean, this Page of Swords looks like they're ready to start an adventure, and the Page of Swords can carry a message about learning from our past experiences with the understanding that change is inevitable. Things change. We enter new cycles. It's bittersweet. We let go of something, we move towards something else. And the Page of Swords can bring a message of change. And that's what this person has done. And a part of the Page of Swords is about learning from our experiences so that we can bring the lessons we've learned and apply them towards the new cycle. And a page is a receptive energy. They're open to learning things and communicating honestly. And so with this in connection with the Fool card, this person is very much in like a beginner's mind right now. They're ready to learn whatever there is to learn in this next phase or cycle. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, and we have two fours here, and the 4 is a number of stability. And that I think is the message I'm getting from this Four of Pentacles card here. I think this person is starting a new phase because they've gotten to a certain level of stability where they're feeling secure. And this could be also talking about financial security. They might be in a place where things might have been rocky and challenging for them financially for a while. But now they have their Four of Pentacles. They have hard earned this material abundance, and they're enjoying it. And they're enjoying the stability that comes with knowing that they worked hard and that they have the results of that work. And that part of that is their financial security. And I think that it's just another emphasis of the message of the Four of Wands, celebrating what we have. There's a message with the Four of Pentacles of enjoying the results of our hard work. And I think that's where your soulmate is right now in their journey. They're looking back and celebrating and enjoying the things that they've worked hard for and have achieved so far. And they're also starting a new phase with hope and faith and excitement for the future. So that's what I'm seeing for your soulmate today. We do have some additional zodiac signs here. We have the two swords, lots of swords energy. So that, again, with the air sign message, your person could be an air sign or have a lot of air in their chart. We also have Scorpio and Virgo, and we have some Wands energy and a little bit of some fire energy and a little bit of earth energy too. And I'm seeing a good spread of the different colors of the different chakras here. So I'd say your person's chakra system's probably well in alignment. I'm seeing the crown chakra up top. So I think that this person, whether they realize it or not, is connected to spirit in some way. They have a strong connection to spirit. We have the third eye with the Scorpio card and the heart chakra with the Virgo card. And pink, it can be the crown chakra, can also be related to the heart chakra. So I think this person is somebody who is very genuinely compassionate and empathetic towards other people. I think that they feel really deeply, passionately about helping other people because they have a strong well of empathy within them. And they've worked hard to rebuild our foundations. The renewal card's related to the root chakra, which talks about our foundations and our sense of security. They've worked hard to rebuild that, and they're in a place where they do feel secure. So with that said, pile 4, I'm going to move into the last part of your reading where I am going to get you some pieces of paper with some additional attributes about your person. They could be personality traits, physical characteristics, information about this person's family, maybe a zodiac sign, who knows. I'm going to roll some dice, and those could be numbers that are significant to your connection, could be days of the month, months of the year, or specific zodiac signs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to clean everything up on camera. So just give me 1 sec. Okay, pile 4. I apologize if this cuts out. I'm trying really hard to record this. My storage is almost full, and I just really want to get this video recorded. So please bear with me. So the numbers I rolled here are 1, 4, and 6. That could be numbers that are significant to your connection. It could be January, April, or June. Could be significant months. Could be yours or their birth months, or the month when you were going to meet this person. It could also be an Aries, a Cancer, or a Virgo. That could be your soulmate. We did see some Virgo energy, some Aries energy, and we also have Sagittarius here, which I could see reflected in that 2 of Wands energy that we kept getting. That's also echoing the message, the adventurous message here. We do have air and earth, so this person could be an air sign or an earth sign, or have a lot of those in their chart. We're seeing muscular and athletic, so there's a good chance that this person, that your soulmate is into fitness, maybe team sports, maybe just athletic activities such as hiking or running, swimming, any kind of outdoor activity maybe. This person is generous. We were seeing that reflected in the time to give rather than take, and the rescuer card. And I just see this person like really kind of altruistically wanting to give back to their community, because maybe that's not something that they had when they needed it. So I think they're always willing to give back. I think that's a big part of their personality. This person might be a tech guru, so they might be very good with technology, or they might just be really interested in technology and new technologies. It could be something that they use in order to network, could be something that they use in order to do their job, or just one of their hobbies. Like it could be that they always have like the latest gadget, and that could be something that they're very interested in. If this person wears makeup, just take whatever resonates for you. If this person wears makeup, I would say they're probably very interested in it, and they're probably very good at it. And that might be something that the 2 of you have in common, or not, whatever. And we do have close-knit family. And so what I wanted to say about this is this person might not have had a close-knit family of origin. They might have. I wasn't really necessarily seeing that in their tarot cards. And I kind of wasn't getting that sense. However, it could have been in the sense that maybe it was like a close-knit community that they grew up in, and it might have been close-knit, but maybe not necessarily accepting or supportive of who this person really is. And so that could be what this is about. Or, they might have had a close-knit family and have been very close to their family, or maybe they still are. Or it could just be that your soulmate wants to have a close-knit family. That could be something that they're interested in. If you're interested in having kids, that's probably something that they want too. If not, even if it's just like a family of the 2 of you, and maybe if you have pets or whatever, they just want to have that kind of close connection, I would say. And it could also be an indication that this person has kind of created their own family, of people and friends and people they're close to, who they would consider to be family, who they've managed to find in their life. So again, I'm sorry that I rushed through the end here a little bit, pile 4. I'm running out of storage, and I'm really nervous that I'm going to lose my recording. So with that said, I hope that you enjoyed today's reading. If you did like it, please give it a like. Feel free to comment down below and let me know how it resonated for you. And feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will be putting out a video. The next video will be about your relationship with your soulmate. And so if you subscribe, you won't miss it. And thank you again for watching, and I do hope to see you in my next video.